Well, hello, everybody. Give me 1 minute while I turn on the other streams over at DLive and You Now and make sure everything's up and running. And then we are going to jump into this show at full force, and you will feel the repercussion and the full force. Where am I going with this? Of like cannonballing on the diving board. The cannonball of positivity. There you go. The splashback. I'm getting there. It's early. I'm working around to it. Give me a minute. So I'm getting making sure these other streams are rolling okay, and I think we are up and going to see what's going on here. Oh, I got some people at you now, Jeanette. Hey, thanks, Jeanette. I can't see my own stream there when I'm rebroadcasting. Jeanette, do you hear me and see me okay? Could you let me know? Give me a little feedback. I'd appreciate that. Vicky, good morning. Thank you. Iron J Rod. Oh man, I already got a full house. Puddle Duck. Everybody's already here for the show. I'm a little late. I know. 12:11. But I was trying to time it so it'd be 11:11 for you guys in the other coast there. The what is that? The Mountain Time Zone? I always forget what the one is after the East Coast. It's either Central or Mountain. I don't know. It's one of those. Um, yeah, Jeanette, you say you hear me. Can you see me? Are you getting a full video stream over at You Now? Would you let me know? Because I am not sure. All it is just like a talking head there. I don't see myself. Oh, there it is. Okay. So I am streaming at You Now. Okay. Great. Looks like it's working over there. Tracy, thanks for coming in. A step ahead. I haven't had a chance to say hi to you before. Geez, Les. Oh my God, you are. How did they finally let you out of work? Like that's all you do, I think. I appreciate you swinging by. It has been, gosh, I think it's almost been like a month since you've hit a live show. Liz is kind of like a ghost. She just comes and goes. She's a specter that comes on through, and you hear about her. There's some blurry pictures on the internet. It's kind of like a Sasquatch, where you know she exists, but people assume she's real, but no one's ever really seen a clear shot of her or no. So that's it. Uh oh, fun and entertainment. Reply, dude. Don't call me dude. I'm a 44-year-old man. But, well, anyway, namaste from India, my man. I appreciate you coming by. Okay. So today's topic is going to be an interesting one because we are going to talk about law of attraction and manifesting. And it's not something like, you guys are a hip crowd, so it's not something like you haven't heard before. But the difference is, do you practice it? And it's really easy to get sidetracked. And I find myself struggling all the time of, do I practice manifestation? Do you really do the stuff that you've heard 100 times? Because, the topic of this was you got to act like it already happened. And I do know we've talked about that in the past plenty of times. And it's not like I came up with that idea. I mean, this is something you've heard before. But the thing is it's really easy to not have that happen, where you go and you kind of forget that you get off track. And it's easy to get bogged down, especially around the holidays, man. It is so easy to get bogged down with the regular junk that it is, you know what I mean? Where in the holidays you're worried about, oh, I got to get out and shop. I got to make sure I get food. My Aunt Greta's coming over with her cat. What am I going to do with how long are the in-laws going to stay? It's so easy to get distracted and forget what's going on and how you can just get bogged down in real life. And this honestly happens all the time. It's not just the holidays, but it's notoriously bad at the holidays. Because even though this season's about, being loving and giving and spending some family time, which is very positive and great, sometimes it can be pretty rough though. Sometimes we forget that message, and I'm guilty of that all myself. You like this blinking mess? Yeah, I don't know how many times I can wear a blinking necklace of lights. Kate got me this from work. Her work, I think. Or she might have had it already or ordered it. I don't know where it came from, but Kate gave it to me, and I feel like, Although, I'm the kind of guy that doesn't give a damn. I'll probably still wear it until it burns out. it'll be like mid-February and I'm still wearing Christmas stuff. I'm definitely guilty of not taking Christmas stuff down. Like the Christmas tree will stay up until I just like the look. I like the blinking lights. I was like, why can't I have this all year round? Why does it have to be just this is up? Fun and entertainment, 58,000, but only 20. Not good. Well, what the thing is when I change to a daytime show, a lot of people are busy. So I get a lot of hits in the reruns. And when you see something where it's like, 30 people, 40 people live, what that means is people are coming and goings because not everybody has 2 hours to sit around and watch a show. And so, the numbers you're seeing live isn't indicative of what's really happening. But, such as YouTube. YouTube is, even when you have millions of viewers, it doesn't mean that they actually show up and do things. And especially these days, people subscribe to 300 channels, so you're just kind of lost in some of this. Oh, George Donnelly. Wow, thanks for coming, my man. If you want to jump on air and say something, let me know. I'll bring you in. Yeah, this is a topic where I was talking about how we get bummed out in the holidays and we kind of forget this message. And this isn't anything new. It's not like I came up with this or something. But I think it's something that is really easy to forget about practicing. Now, I'm absolutely 100% believer in manifestation. If you think about it long enough and you really make it your focus, you attract that to you. And this is why I keep saying that I have been doing the daily lists, although I got to get back to really, it's become the every other day list, but I need to get back to that. Because by writing it out by hand, it pulls that energy and puts it on paper and resonates it out in the universe of these are things that I would like to attract to myself. And it's really hard because some people get stuck in like a negative feedback loop where they just can't get out of it and all they do is attract bad energy to themselves. Nothing ever works out because that's what they expect. And then other people are unrealistic with what they're trying to attract sometimes. I'm going to have $1 million by Friday. Sometimes that's not going to really work. The universe will help you, but it kind of has to be something that's realistic at the same time. But if you do focused on it, then that's what's up. Because all right, I don't want to ignore your comments here. I see a lot of people yakking. And hey, thanks for joining me, Carrie. Good luck with your post. Oh, George just wants to receive wisdom today. Okay. All right. So, manifest theory. You debunked manifestation theory. Well, Joan R. The thing is I have to say I don't really care what any sort of science says. I don't care. Any study that comes out, there's always going to be some other study that says exactly opposite. I know what I live my life by. And when I'm in a good mood, in a positive mood, and I'm attracting, putting a vibe out, that stuff gets heard and answered. Absolutely, 100%. I have faith, man. I put this stuff on my list, and within a month, I had most of it. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy. Because I focused and kept it on. Kiri. Okay, sorry. I always mess up her name. She says that happens all the time to her. Kiri. Adam Ant, hey, thanks for coming. I'm a big fan of your music. I did love Adam Ant. That was a great, definitely part of my young punk days. Did you know I was like an 80s wannabe punk? That's it. All right, so let's get back because you guys are so distracting. All right. So, let me check over with you now. Jeanette, is everything okay over there? You hear me all right? It looks like it's streaming fine. It looks like I'm finally streaming good at DLive. It looks like it's working over there. So if anybody's over in DLive, hey, welcome to you. I've just started streaming over there. That is, if you guys don't know what DTube is, it's like a decentralized YouTube and is their version of live stream. It just went live, and so I'm playing with it right now to see if it works. So how do we get to the point where we practice what we preach. How do we get to the point where, you got to pretend it already happened? And there's a couple different theories on this. Some people say that you can trick your subconscious mind. Like when you write goals, that you put them out so you pretend they already happened. Say my goal is to weigh 150 pounds. It's not I will weigh 150 pounds. It's I weigh 150 pounds. Or, I have a good relationship finally. It's not that. It's I have a good relationship. You don't want to put necessarily you don't want to say it in past tense, and you want to put it as if it already happened. I'm not saying that well. As if it already happened. And that is supposed to be able to trick the subconscious mind to accepting these commands. But the thing is I think there's a lot more to it than that, because there's also an energy vibe you put out. And the universe kind of works in this same way. And there's been a lot of different theories about why. I'm not exactly sure why it does, but it does work this way, that if you pretend it already happened, or you've convinced yourself that it's already been a done deal a long time ago, the universe also takes that energy, not just your subconscious mind, or depending on your beliefs, maybe your subconscious creates that energy and brings it to you, but it does work. And you'll know this because it's not like, do you remember when, when that book came out? Was it in like the 90s, The Secret? Where everybody was like, oh, this is a revelation. What do you mean you can manifest stuff, And like Oprah was all excited about it and stuff. Yeah, not a huge secret, but I guess there's lots of new generations that don't know it, or you can always repackage these old ideas in a new way and present them. Like I could probably write a book similar to The Secret, and it'd probably be successful, but it's all ideas that have come from the past. And the reason I keep bringing that up is because I trust faith much more than science. And that's kind of strange for some people, because I used to be, I'm pretty well trained in science. I've got many years of higher education. I've done research. I've studied, some crazy stuff. I was doing like honors genetics research, and I mean, I've got some high level of science stuff. And what I found out is the more science I did, the more I realized it was subjective and people don't know jack. You're just kind of guessing. And what I realized is that science changes its views like 180% every 50 years. We're going to look back 50 years from now and laugh at the stuff we were talking about, like quantum physics. It's not how it works. You're out of your mind. Like now we know this, and now we know this. We're going to look back, and science constantly changes what is right. Where if you go back and you look at faith 3,000-4,000 years ago, old text, it's saying the same stuff we're saying now. It hasn't changed. It's just maybe the way we present it has changed, but the ideas are pretty similar. So I trust what feels right in faith a lot more than science. And when I say that, I want to make sure that you guys understand what I'm saying. It's not that I throw science out the window, but I don't really trust when people are like, oh, well, there's a study that says this, and there's a study that says that, and there's a skeptic study and a skeptic study. And it's like, yeah, but in 20 years, that study's going to be completely opposite. Where my faith is not opposite in 20 years, usually, I hope. or some people's faith. I didn't mean to be ignoring you. Let's see what comments. You guys are just flying through the comments today. I can't even keep up. All right. So, yeah, you guys are kind of talking to each other. Liz is talking. Hey, Bree, good to see you guys. Pilgrim, good. I'm glad you're here. Carrie Sans, by the way, has a channel she's starting, so you guys go subscribe to that. I'm trying to show that channel some love. I appreciate that. Lava Girl, awesome. You went to an interview picturing you'd already gotten the job, and you got the job. A lot of that is, yeah, in confidence, too, man. Oh, Paul L., cool to see you. Jonar, right on. Jonar says, my constant anxiety sucks, though it is positive that I am sort of less materialistic and more grateful for smaller things. And Steph, thank you. Just wanted to pop by and say Merry Christmas. I hope you stick around for a minute. I miss you, Steph. I'm glad you're here. Jonar, yeah, if you don't have some sort of faith sometimes, it doesn't really matter what kind of faith you have, you will have anxiety. If you go down this path of what if and fear, it is really easy to keep sliding into what if and fear. I got to a point in my life, like the lowest point in my life was all made based on decisions of losing things. You know, I couldn't pull the trigger and get divorced. I couldn't move on. And I didn't want to lose what I had because I had no financial support. I didn't want to lose my friends I had. This life I had created, but I was in this mediocre life that wasn't happy. And you can't, you just kind of like circle the drain when you're doing that. And what it does is you start basing your decisions all on things you can lose instead of things you can gain. And it gets to a point, and if you really talk to someone who's entrenched, that, you know, they have a family, they lived at the same house for 20 years, they've been married the same, a lot of times they're doing stuff just to maintain what they have, and they're doing stuff in fear of losing what they have instead of doing stuff to gain new things. And when you go down that path, it's like what Yoda says, that fear, let's see if I can do it. Fear leads to hate, and hate leads to anger, right? Yoda, that fear is the gateway drug, that it comes in and it cripples you. And faith is kind of like the anti-fear. What happens is, what helped me get out of that anxiety loop was I finally sat down with myself and I said, what is the worst case scenario? What if tomorrow I wake up with no money? Tomorrow I do, all hell breaks loose. My wife leaves me, my pets leave me, whatever. What is the absolute worst ground zero thing that can happen to me? And then what happened was, when I sat and thought about it, I was like, okay, well, if I'm homeless, I know how to make money. So I'm homeless for a month. I can make money. I can get out of it. The worst thing that happens, I got to live in a car for a month. Okay. Once you bring it down to rock bottom level, and then you find solutions, you're like, okay, this is how I'll get out of this. This is how I get out of this. This is how all of a sudden that fear goes away. You're like, okay, so the worst that happens is, I wind up in my car, So when you can pull back the fear, you look dead right in the eyes and say, because a lot of people never take that final step. They just are scared. They're scared to lose what they have. But if you play that out in your head and say, okay, if I lose everything I have, what's the next thing that happens to me? How bad is it? And yeah, it might be really inconvenient. It might suck for a little while. But it's not the end of life. It's not the end of the world. In a year from after you losing everything, you'll look back and be like, yeah, that was kind of a tough time. That was a bad year, but I'm better now. I'm rocking it now. So you have to go one step further. Stop being so damn scared of everything and stop having fear. Stop making decisions from fear. It will eat you alive, and it will keep you in an unhappy, unhealthy, and in a mediocre life. You guys are destined for better things, man. You're here on this channel because the universe has brought you here to hear a message. For me to give you a slap of positivity across the face and say, wake up, get out of this fear world. The reason I can do that is because I lived in that fear world. I'm a survivor. I got out of that mess. And sometimes in my life, I still catch myself slipping back in it. I'll make a decision and go, man, how am I going to do this without losing my butt? Or, how am I going to buy a van with no money? Or how am I going to, what am I going to do when the spring comes and I can barely, pay the bills? And you know what? Everything just works out. Because a year or two ago, it was a lot harder than it was now, and it worked out. Things just work out if you trust the universe that they'll work out. If you put energy into fear decisions, man, that is where you're going to stay, and that is what you're going to attract. So what I did is, this will hopefully help you guys if you're just tuning in and you missed it. What I did is I brought fear down to its absolute lowest level. Like, what happens if I lose everything? I develop a plan, a comeback plan. I call it a quantum comeback. And then after I build that back up, when you make a comeback at a quantum level, you're doing stuff at a high vibration, you start attracting majorly good things to you. And 2018, I think, is going to be our year, man. There was a huge transition in 2016, Everybody on here was talking about what a rough time it was and how much their life just got turned upside down. 2017, we kind of wrote it out together and was trying to figure out, okay, how do we recover and how do we go forward? I think we're through the hump now. I feel good, and I have not felt good going into a year in quite a while. Like, 2016, I knew it was going to be a hard year. 2017, I knew it was going to be a cleanup year. It's going to be, well, there's still a lot of stuff out in the air. 2018, the slate's about clean. It's time to move on and go forward. And I am ready to lead that charge if you guys want to come along. It'll be a fun ride. And I'm excited about where it's going. I wake up and I'm like, man, 2018, we're going to own that year. And we can do it together. You and I, all of us can get in here. We stop in the mornings, have our coffee or hot cocoa or cider, whatever you drink. Hot water if you're fasting. Come on in and chill out, and we'll boost each other up and pull each other through this. Because of course things are going to happen. There's going to be bad times ahead. But how you react to them is everything. Are you going to let them pull you down into the fear cycle, or are you going to use it to build you up? I went through a very crappy time in my life about 5 years ago. It was the lowest time in my life, and you guys hear me talk about it all the time. My rock bottom moment. And then when I came back out, I could have stayed at that rock bottom moment and festered in that. And a lot of people do. They drink themselves to death, or they get so depressed they can't move, and they never come out of their rock bottom moments. And I am telling you that the rock bottom moment can energize you and completely transform your life and change you if you go the route of positivity and not fear. And I know that's tough, because when your life's crappy, you're like, man, I don't feel like being positive. I don't want to deal with this. But if you are, and this is what kind of the title is, you got to pretend it's already happened. You got to pretend it's already 2019, man, and we're through 18, and it was the awesomest year ever. If you have that attitude, man, you're going to find out 2018 is going to be an awesome year. You've got to manifest what you want, and manifesting is real. Miracles happen. That crap is real. It happens to me daily. I expect miracles now. I expect manifestation. Anything I know it's like, it's like a knee-jerk reaction. I poke somebody with a hammer in a knee, and I know their knee's going to kick, hopefully. As long as they don't have nerve damage, their knee's going to kick. I know that if I push enough positivity into the universe is going to attract that back to me. And again, this isn't like, I'm not sitting here preaching some sort of arcane knowledge that you don't know. You already know this. You just don't practice it. You don't do it enough, probably. All right, something comes in your life, and you plan for it, because something's coming. Something's going to come in your life, and when that happens, are you going to choose to go into your old pattern of negativity and go, well, that's what I deserve. My life sucks. This always happens to me. I always do this. I always get ahead and then destroy myself, or are you going to say, all right, I knew the speed bump's coming, but we're going to top this. It's 2018. We're riding this rocket. Which one are you going to choose? And it is a conscious choice. Every day is full of decisions of, are you going to go negative or positive? And you know what? Positive is usually more difficult to do. It's easy to go negative. It takes a little work to go positive. But you can retrain your brain so you start going more and more positive. The way you build habits is you build habit loops. And if a crisis comes to you, and it will, in 2018, something's coming. If a crisis comes to you, will your habit be, are you going to go back into your old routine? Or are you going to choose to make a new positive routine where you're going to find something good in the challenge and step above it? And it is a conscious choice for a while. But after you do it about 20, 30, 40 times, all of a sudden that pattern shifts. And you are no longer, knee-jerk reaction going down the negative path. Your knee-jerk reaction going to the positive path. And that's what's awesome about habits and habit loops, is you can retrain it so your normal is to bounce back and come up. All right. I have been ignoring you guys way too much. Let's talk about what you guys want to talk about. And here, I sometimes get on my little soapbox and sometimes, You got to bring me back down. U.S. Man, thanks for joining me over at YouNow. I appreciate it. I see you over there. We are we're having a session on positivity and basically how to change your life for 2018 for the better. Now, let's see. What are you guys laughing at? Heard the Yoda comment? I didn't do a very good Yoda. I can do a Yoda. I just haven't been very good at it as far as, I mean you no harm. I can't do it. Fear leads to hate. Hate leads to the dark side. Trying to do my Yoda. I'm not that great at it. Right. April says, I deeply regret my manifesting and quantum jumping. I lost everyone I loved. Sorcery. God answered my prayers before I did quantum jumping. He's much better at managing. I've gone back to that. So yeah, you might want to get a little deeper on that. You know, I love my manifesting. I use it daily. I don't regret it at all. Even if we're gonna jump ourselves into other places, I'm pretty happy. Like, it's getting better and better for me. So I think that you can guide where you want to go. All right, Kiri says, step out and attack the challenge with a grateful heart and make it the best. Yeah, it's awesome if you come out and just smack the challenge and work around it. And here's the thing: expect the challenge. Stop being caught with your pants down. It's coming. There's going to be problems in 2018, but it's not going to be nearly as hard as 16 and 17. 18 is going to be our year. It's going to rock this year because there are going to be small speed bumps. Whatever. We'll roll right over those things. I think that's going to be where I'm going in with this attitude. You can join me or not, because I'm going to practice what I preach. And some days I'll get on here and I'll be upset about something or another, and you can step up and shake me with the positivity stick and say, hey, go listen to this. Go listen to your own thing. Use my own words against me. That's always the worst. I'll be like down on myself and someone will be like, hey. They throw your own words at you and you're like, oh, okay. You're right. All right. Keep soapboxing. Thank you, Pilgrim. Appreciate it. Jay Simmerly, you ordered my book. Thanks for ordering my book. A lot of people don't know I used to be an author. Thank you. Tracy, I find for me staying positive is much easier in this moment. Stay in the now. I agree. It's, again, if you are negative by nature, like that's just who you are, and you want to break that pattern because it has brought you nothing but anxiety and misery, it is a choice. It is a choice, and I know that is hard to hear, but that is tough love. It is the tough love pill coming your way because you have a choice. The next hardship that comes, you have a decision to find something good in it and move on, or you can wallow in it. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? I'm asking you. Brim, thanks for joining us and seeing you here. I'm not sure. She just keeps saying, wow. I'm not sure exactly what list is going on here. Okay, you guys are talking to each other. That's cool. If you're talking to me, make sure you tag me so I know what to say. All right, Bridget. Hey, thanks for joining me. I love this. Just tuned in accidentally. Hey, well, I hope you stay for the party because I'm pretty fired up this morning. I don't know what's gotten into me, but I'm on fire because I am ready to tackle 2018. Oh, Paul, just water fasting. Excellent. I hope you do good. I'm on a dry fast myself today. Like I said, I'm kind of easing in. I will be fasting a lot in January, but in probably like the second week of January. I'm not going to dive right in. I'm going to ease into it. I'm seeming to do much better easing. My whole life, whenever I want to lose weight, I would do like something dramatic and I would lose like 30 pounds and then it would just come right back. But I'm doing the slow burn right now and it seems to really be working for me. I'm just kind of easily doing it. And it's chill and it's vibing with me, and so I'm doing it. Yeah, he will reveal more as you need it, but only when he knows when you're ready. Kiri's right. It's right on that you will only get what you need in doses. You will not overload. The universe gives you what you need, and a lot of times it's confusing. You will only get one little piece of the puzzle, and your whole life's going to be like this. You're not going to be shown all the answers till the end. When you cross over, you'll know. But right now, you're going to get pieces. and stuff will make more sense to you. And I mean, some people can reach the other side by praying or drugs or whatever their choice, however they get to the other side. You know, that's how they do it. You can get a lot of knowledge when you're over there, but when you come back, you're still stuck in this world. And I think, you know, that you are here to challenge and to work past these challenges, and that's what you're here to experience something. And we've talked about this plenty of times today. Hey, Burma, thanks for joining us. If you want to come on air later, let me know. I'll stick you on. I didn't know you were off work today. Oh, yeah, I guess it's still a holiday for you guys. Puddle Duck says, hey, you guys in America might be debt-free. Did you see it was illegal to pay clause in Trump's recent thing he commanded? I don't talk about politics on here. Sorry, I don't know what that is. Sorry, Puddle Duck. Okay. I try to avoid too much political junk. I'm on a good positivity bender right now. I'm soaking that in. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about this idea of make it. You know how they used to say make it till you fake it, right? That you got to pretend stuff already happened. And we talked about that a little earlier. So if you're just surfing in and we're talking about this, I'll just rehash it for a second, for 30 seconds, is that, you know, there's all these gurus out there that say that it tricks your subconscious mind into accepting and overriding beliefs and habits, that if you write it as if something already happened. So instead of saying, I want to lose 50 pounds in 2018, you wrote, I lost 50 pounds in 2018. Your brain sees it differently. And I say it goes further, that it puts out a different energy vibe to the universe, and the universe will attract what you need. Now, what Kiri was saying was that it's only going to give you a piece at a time, and that's the way the universe works. It's so much information on the other side that it would like short circuit your brain and probably put you into madness seeing it all at once. And on a side note, I really believe that's what happens to some people who go mad. When you're on the other side, you touch madness for a little bit. I think those people are stuck in worlds, halfway in one world and halfway in the other. That's a topic for another show. But when I was thinking about it, I think if you've ever crossed over, you know what I mean. You know. George Donnelly says, used to be an author. Once an author, always an author. Yeah, I guess. I didn't know how to practice. It's kind of like when people call me doctor. I mean, I used to be a doctor, but not really much anymore. You know, it's one of those things that if I'm not practicing it, I usually try not to call myself. I was talking about it the other day, George, that I'd like to kind of get back into writing, but it's a huge investment of time, and I need to make a living at it. Like, I was writing to make a living. I wasn't writing just for fun, and it's a different animal when you're writing for a living and you have to pay the bills. Then it's hard to take 6 months to a year of your life and put everything into it and then sell, you know, $300 of books. It's, you know, it's tough. Now, if I had endless money and time, I would probably write just for the enjoyment. So it's definitely different. Liz says I'm juiced. Yeah, I'm pretty fired up this morning. I don't know what happened, but Brim likes my Yoda. Thank you. River Swept. Do you water fast or just liquid? Okay, so here's a way. We always seem to get into fasting when we're on these speeches. All right, I'll tell you, because if you guys are new, we have some new listeners. I live a lifestyle where I only eat every other day. So for the last 2 months, I've only eaten every other day. I do like a water fast. And then some days I do dry fasting, where I don't even have water. I let my kidneys take a break and relax. And when you do a dry fast, your kidneys get a chance to clean house. And then the next day, they pee out like a lot of acidosis. It looks like, like waxy cast. It looks like a white waxy stuff in your pee. And it's really good because it's pulling the damage that's stuck to your kidneys, the stuff that's irritating your kidneys out. But the only way to really get there is a dry fast. It's hard to do with a wet fast. So it depends on what I'm doing. If I'm really working hard, like I was shoveling snow and I was fasting, I water fast because I got so dehydrated I had to. But if I'm just chilling today and making videos, I'll be doing a dry fast. So there's your question. I hope that answered. I don't do liquid fast because Juicing fasts are still causing you to digest. Even though it's the easiest form of digestion, it still is making your body work to digest. And instead of spending its money, its energy on healing you, it is spending its energy on digesting juice. So I just do water, and then that's it. Yeah, Burma likes the man bun. I keep saying as soon as it gets long enough, I'm going to stop man bunning it. It hopefully will drop, but apparently, like, these are the two things that come up every single show. If you guys watch my show, someone wants to talk about my hair and someone wants to talk about me fasting. These two things, it comes up every show. All right, let's get back to kicking butt today. All right, so what are the manifesting tricks? All right, so the manifesting tricks. All right, the one is obviously we were talking about is that we do a manifest on pretending it already happened. The other, and I'm a believer of this, is old school. You write it down. There's something about writing that is different than typing. When you write, it somehow pushes more energy out there, and you slow down and you take time. And there's some sort of more energy connection putting it on paper. When you write what you want every single day, every day I write my goals and what I want to do. And by doing that, when I do it every day, I try to do it every day, it forces me to take 10 minutes and focus my brain. And that act of writing is actually manifesting. That act of writing is slowing and focusing your brain and energy, especially since most people don't handwrite anything anymore. You'll find out that if you haven't really used that skill in a long time, it takes an enormous amount of energy to write. You'll be like, man, this is tough. I don't remember writing this slow, and my handwriting's so sloppy, and I'm misspelling everything. Like, that is a slow, intentional manifestation, putting it to paper. That really works for me. And I can't preach about that enough. That you do that for a month, and your life will change, man. And it's easy. It doesn't cost any, it costs a piece of paper. That's about it. So that's where I'm at with manifesting. Now, there's a much higher level of manifesting. You can group manifest, and group manifest is amazing. When you put multiple people's power into attracting the right kind of vibration and energy, especially if it's something selfless, like where you're not just all manifesting that you get yourself a new car. You're manifesting to help somebody. Like, I hope my aunt, learns how to eat healthy and reverses her cancer, or whatever it is. You push past that. And group manifesting is something I like to get more involved with and try. I really need to make a time, like every week, where we manifest something. But the problem I found in the last manifests, when we try them, is usually people can't agree what to manifest on. So, and there are some groups that do it already very successfully. They group manifest, and I think that maybe we should have one on to talk about that again, because it's been a while. All right, let's see. Pilgrim, you mean white foam, Doc? Yeah, it's like a waxy cast. I wouldn't gross you out. What you do is you pee in a jar, and your pee should look, despite it's opposite of what you're told in the medical world. You're told that your pee should be clear. Like, you drink and drink and drink until your pee is completely clear. And that means you're well hydrated. But that's actually not right. Although it does tell you if you're hydrated, it doesn't really show you if your kidneys are filtering. And what happens is your kidneys get so clogged by inflammation and acidosis that because we eat a lot of foods that cause acid, and it turns into like a plaque and sticks on the kidneys, that the nephrons, the only thing they can filter is water. They don't really filter the stuff they're supposed to be filtering out. They're supposed to be dumping lymphatic waste, and instead they're just dumping water. So when you're drinking a ton, you're actually overworking the kidneys, and it makes very, very clear pee. If you give your kidneys a chance to relax, it starts pulling that sticky coats of acidosis. It looks like white mucus, and you will start to pee out this white particulate in the mornings. That is a wonderful sign because that means you're dumping the acidosis and the lymphatic fluid that you're supposed to be doing. And people try, like if you go on the internet and type like kidney filtration, you'll see a lot of people, it is hard to get into acidosis, to kidney filtrate acidosis sometimes. And for me, I cannot get into it unless I dry fast. Doesn't work water fasting for me. It doesn't work like just eating raw fruit. I have to take the extra step and dry fast. Now, in time, as I get healthier, it will start working with just like a fruit diet or something. But other than that, so there you go. Curie, yeah, I'm really a chiropractor, but I just don't talk about it much. Let's see. Wow, I'm way behind on you guys. All right. I think you guys are all talking to each other. You don't need me to answer anything. All right. Write it on the mirror. April says write it on the mirror. Yeah, I mean, it's the whole act of handwriting, that actually putting it to paper, slowing down, focuses your energy and attention on the movement. Is completely different than just typing it in. Because I tried to type my goals and they didn't work. But when I forced myself to write them, they work. Okay, so you guys are mainly talking to each other. Again, you want to tag me because I cannot, I'm a one-man show here, so things just fly by sometimes if I'm not paying attention. All right. Here we go. Burma. Dr. Lupo, thank you for the tip about writing. I love to write and didn't even think about that. Yeah, it's, for someone like me who's dyslexic, I've never been very good at writing. And what's funny is my cursive, I actually uses a different kind. I think it uses a different part of the brain because my cursive's much better than my block print. My cursive, the spelling's better. I'm faster. So I force myself to block print, and it looks like a 3-year-old wrote it. Like my handwriting is not good when I do that, but it forces my manifestation to do that. That's it. Liz, that girl's mom contacted me again regarding manifestation. I'll Discord you about it. Oh yeah, we never really did that. That'd be yeah. You want to do it? Let's talk. We could do a group manifestation. We could try it. Oh, Candy Cupcakes. Good to see you. Many laugh at me when I when I say it doesn't exist, but I just laugh back, knowing it can be done. Yeah, and this is something you guys got to learn. Stop listening to other people. Don't listen to me. Don't listen to other people. Listen to your heart. When you meditate or pray or even just listening to your gut, a gut check. Say you're a science guy. Don't listen to necessarily what other people say. You got to listen to what's right with you. I don't care how many. You could come out with 5,000 studies that tell me manifesting doesn't work, and I'm going to tell you to go shove it because it does. There's nothing you could say to me that will make me not know the truth. When you know the truth and you've seen it work, I don't care what you say. I'm going to stay with what I know is the truth. It feels right. I've seen it work in my life. It's a principle that works. And it's like ancient knowledge. Why have people been talking about this concept for thousands of years? Tell me. So that's it. All right. So, yeah, Paul's dropping some knowledge on us about lactic acid. All right. I am grateful for you too, John Liberty. Thanks for coming. I know John Liberty was on the same path as me where I was like a pissed off libertarian, and now I'm a chill, hippie, peace-loving sort of liberty guy. And that is the evolution, hopefully. Hopefully you learn that true freedom's in your mind and in yourself and what you do every day. It's not given to you by some politician and some piece of paper with words on it. Oh, let's see. You guys are yakking about dry fasting. Oh, here's a tag. Liz says, Taryn Lupo, if you go to the fluoride-free, do you also not cook with fluoridated water? Yes. So I have a... I'll post it sometime. I'll do a story on my water filter. I have one that does remove fluoride. Because, Kate is a holistic dental hygienist. Kate has training as a hygienist, and she is religious about fluoride, not using fluoride in the house. And so every water that I try to actually touch is usually not fluoride in it. So if I cook, I'm always using filtered water in it. And I cook on stainless steel pans. I don't use like aluminum or Teflon or anything. And the only thing I really need to get, though, is they do have water filters for the shower. I really need to do that. I need to screw it on there and blast away. Because, yeah, fluoride will make you dumb, and it definitely screws up. God, there's so many different problems fluoride causes in your body. And also, it really locks you spiritually. So, yeah, don't mess with fluoride. I need to message you about a chiropractic question. No! Yeah, you can message me about chiropractic question if you really want. Okay, so we're talking about dry fasting. Yeah, dry fasting is just literally like air that day. Now, the thing is, you know, some people can go as much as 3 days. It is hard because you are dehydrating while you're doing it. But it makes sense because if you watch some animals, when animals are really sick, some will go 2 or 3 days without food or water. And it's like, well, why isn't my cat drinking water when he's sick? It's because he's dumping toxic lymphatic. Animals are way smarter than us. They work with nature and not against it. So I kind of copy what animals do. When I'm not feeling good, I go old school. I don't eat and I don't drink. I just let it go. Now, you have to be careful with that. You know, like, obviously, if you're prone to dehydration, if you're like a kid, I probably wouldn't dry fast a kid. But, you know, or if you're pregnant, I probably wouldn't dry fast. But other than that, if you're like a lot of Americans where you're overweight and you're just unhealthy and you're struggling and you can't really take weight off and your health's getting worse and worse, dry fasting can be like a godsend. It's amazing stuff. But it is tough because some people really have a tough time doing it. It is not an easy road for some people, but you can work up to it because there's some, like most streaming, there's a lot of things that you work up to. And if you want to, did I say streaming? Fasting. See what the dyslexia did? I'm thinking about streaming while I'm talking about fasting. With fasting, you work into it. So you'll see some people here, I think Liz said she does like a few hours where she doesn't eat and then she only eats at night, or some people eat once a day, or some people try to go 18 hours. You know, there's a million different ways to do it. What works for me, I am not preaching that's going to work for you. I eat every other day because it's easier for me. If I start eating, it sends my brain into a cycle where I want to eat more and more and more. So eating once a day will turn into eating 3 or 4 times a day pretty quickly. So I don't want to open that door. I had to make a very strict rule with myself or I'll cheat and I'll find ways around it. And I did a thing where I do not eat on odd days. So, you know, the 1st, the 3rd, the 5th, the 31st. Sometimes it goes back to back. If it's a month of 31st and 1, I won't eat for 2 days. But I had to make a hard, steady rule of myself because I will find any excuse to not do it and cheat. And like Christmas was yesterday and I fasted. Like, who the hell fasts on Christmas, you know? But I did because I had to set a hard rule of myself, and I don't care what the excuse is. I'm not going to let myself break that next year. So, Tracy says, 1 flippin' great big meal a day. Yeah, and some people are cool with that. You can do that. My health's just all screwed up, Tracy, because I partied like a rock star for 25 years. And so now I'm paying for it, and I'm having a few years of some serious discipline to reverse that. You guys listening are probably not in the same boat I am. Okay. Oh, the cold shower challenge. Yeah, cold shower is a whole different animal. Oh, it's so tough. It's so tough, especially here in New Hampshire. I can do it in the summer. I can cold shower all day long in the summer, but man, in the winter, I hate it. I don't like doing it. Oh, all right. I've been outside since Taryn started, so I'm whimming it. I'm not sure what you mean there, Les. Did you miss what we were just talking about you? I just like gave an expose about you for 10 minutes. Might have to go back and watch. I talked about list. All right. Let's get back to, because there's a lot of people wandering in that miss some of this, and they're like, why are we talking about fasting and health and all this stuff? Okay. Let's pull back to how do we manifest? How do we stay positive? And a big part of it, again, was whenever there's a choice next year, you have to make the choice that does not lead down the fear path. And you know it. You know what I'm talking about. You know you've heard this, but why do you keep doing it? Let me ask y'all. Why do you keep going down the fear path? Something bad happens. You have a choice. Are you going to wallow in the fear? Or are you going to work around the fear and make it a positive experience? The reason is because the fear cycle is an easier choice. It's less energy. To make the positive choice takes energy. At first. After you do it, again, 30, 40, 50 times, it doesn't take energy anymore. It just happens. I don't have to think about it. 90% of the time, I'm going to make the right choice. Every once in a while, I fall and I go down the wrong path, and then I shake it off and I say, oh, that was dumb. Why did I do that? And then I go, oh, yeah, because, like I did it for 40 years of my life. That's why I did it, So I go back. Yes, they always say fear porn, fear porn. Yeah, it is for real. It's bad. And fear's addictive, just like that. Just like prawn, right? They call it prawn on the internet, so they don't get in trouble. If you guys never noticed that, they get around the censorship on YouTube by calling it prawn, P-R-O-N, so they don't get their YouTube flagged. Anyway, so that is what I'm trying to say, is that it's a decision, and you guys got to practice making the right decision over and over. So today, when we get off here, something's going to come up today, and you're going to have a choice of how you're going to react to it. Is something going to happen from work that's going to make you upset? Is something going to happen from, I don't know, your family? Your kids are home for the holidays. Are they going to drive you crazy? There's going to be a choice that comes on your lap today of what you can do, positive or negative, and you've got to make the choice to make the right positive decision. That's the way to break this habit. That's what you need to work on. And we got to pretend that anything that you really want, the big goals for next year, have already happened. It puts out a vibe in the universe that attracts more positive vibe, man. So you guys have to, if you want this to be a great year, you got to make the choice right now before we go into it. Now, the good news, though, is that you can make this choice even through the year while you're screwing around. You can have a bad month or two and come back out of it. But I'm telling you, Diana joined us. Hey, Diana, thanks for coming. I appreciate you stopping through. I've been watching your show. I'm watching it. So, for you guys just coming in late, like my friend Diana here, we're talking about that manifesting is the real deal. It really does work. Faith's the real deal. You got to have faith. It doesn't really matter what your flavor of faith is. If you believe, it will happen. It is a vibe, and it is also a habit loop. You will have are you creating a positive habit loop or a negative habit loop? When a challenge comes, do you just wallow and keep going backwards, or do you go forwards? And I'm going to keep saying this over and over until it gets through, because some of you guys listening are like, oh, I know that. I've heard that to death, and I've heard it for my whole life. Well, why aren't you practicing it? Why aren't you practicing it? Why do you keep getting anxious and anxiety and worry? Why are you letting that crap in your head? Because it is crap. Most everything that you worry about never comes true. Unless you worry about it enough, then you can make it come true. You can bring that energy right to your doorstep. You can bring bad things right. I mean, you invite that stuff into your being and your place, and it will come. So, what the cool thing is you can invite really good things into your place, and it will come. You need to be conscious and focused as we go into this new year about whenever challenges come, which way are you going to go? It is that simple. All you have to do is create a positive loop. After you've made this positive decision, many times it becomes a habit, and your brain doesn't have to think about it anymore, and you start making the right decisions on autopilot, stuff that moves you along. But in the beginning, it's going to be harder. It's so easy to just go the wrong direction and it's the lazy direction. Usually the negative stuff is the easiest, laziest choice. So that's it. I don't mean to ignore you guys, because I know I sound like I'm in my own positive loop, that I'm saying this over and over. But I'm saying this over and over because I want you guys in the chat to be like, okay, yes, I'm going to do it. And I'm not seeing that yet. I'm gonna keep on you guys about well, Vanilla. Oh, Vicky's giving me a thumbs up, so Vicky's getting it. All right, thank you, Vicky. And Puddle Dog, thanks. I appreciate you guys. Now, we talked about some techniques earlier about writing it to paper, group manifestation, or maybe your flavors group prayer or whatever it is. Group stuff really works. I know some friends that get together once a week and they manifest, and when you put that kind of time and effort and energy, it puts a energy out that attracts that kind of energy in. And this is the same thing though. If you are with a bunch of negative Nancy party poopers, if you're with the bitch and stitch group that they want to get together and bitch about their husbands and bitch about their friends and bitch about their family and bitch about their life's not being what it was, and then have drinks and they have fun. Sure, there's some camaraderie in that, but it is nothing but negative spout. And people will be like, oh, well, you got to get together and vent. You got to vent that stuff out so it doesn't eat you alive inside. But by putting it out there, even venting, sometimes if that's all you do is vent negative crap, people don't like being around you. You're going to be labeled the energy vampire, and you're going to find out that all you're going to attract are a bunch of other unhappy, miserable people around you. And you are your friends. You are your circle. As you sit there, you will build on that energy. And if you get in the wrong circle, you will stay there for life sometimes. It will be hard. And that is a hard-ass decision to come to. And I'm dropping some preaching knowledge on you right now, because sometimes the problem is your environment. You've created a life with negative people, and that is tough, because you either got to be the positive gem that drags everybody else up to a positive level, or you got to cut that group loose and move to a positive group. And luckily, I've got a lot of love here online. This would be a very difficult transition if it wasn't for you guys, because every day I can get on here, I can get in here, and I get just like crazy love in here, and I hope you guys feel the love from me and how appreciative I am. So I really want to push that out and be grateful to you guys, because this is so much easier to do together than by ourselves. It really is. Now you can vent. I'm sorry if I said the venting purpose. John says, yeah, but the venting purpose has its circle. I'm sorry, the venting circle has its purpose. True. I'm not saying hold in stuff, because the venting will poison you. But if that is your routine and that's all you do, that is a problem, because it creates a very negative energy around that spot. You're putting out a lot of stuff, man. I had friends and more... I'm just going to leave it at that. I had people in my life that every day when they came home, it was just like a shower of negativity. And, it'd be like 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, you're watching the clock come, and you're like, oh man, here it comes. They're coming through the door in 5, 4, 3, 2, bitch. And it was numbing. Like at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, I'd be like, oh God, I gotta listen to this venting. And when you vent at other people, sometimes that is, you're even though, like, I don't want to absorb that stuff. It's in the air and it's in the energy, and it just brings down everything. It might be good for one person to vent out, but it damages a lot of people around it. You have to be in the right place to hear that kind of stuff, All right. Yeah, we could get in a whole nother chat about venting, because you have to be careful. There is a point where you can vent so you don't become toxic. I get that. But if there is relationships in people's lives where that's all they do, the bitch and stitch, like where they get together and they just bitch about, their husbands or their boyfriends, and the men do it too, so you gotta be careful with that. I'm telling you, you put out a lot more energy, because the person who's venting feels good when they're done. They're like, oh man, I feel better. Everyone around them is now down. They picked up the vibes, man. So that's it. Oh, Burma, thank you so much. I'm back at you. I appreciate the nice message on here. I'm glad you are getting something out of this. All All right, let's see. What did I miss? What did I miss on you guys? And I appreciate, hey, thanks to you guys swinging through on you now. I'm streaming over there. Jeanette, are you still there? It looks like you are, but you're not talking. And Jace, thanks for joining. And Iholigan, I appreciate that. Thanks you guys for swinging through. Yeah, I'm kind of fired up today. This is because I want us to go into 2018 just with a bang. And I'm hoping that I might be repeating this message an awful lot until you guys start using it. Sometimes you got to hear it over and over until you'll be like, man, all right, Doc, I hear you. Okay. I'm tired of it. It's like, no, man, you're not living that way. Then you need to hear it again, because you really got to. The let's see, write, invent it. Oh, yeah, okay. Curious says write it, invent it to get it out of your head. That does happen. Some people like to write it. Some people even write it on something and burn it. And that's what's up. All right, so let me. Oh, hey, long hair low finally showed up. Oh, Liz, man, you dropped a super chat on me. Ah, that's right, girl. I'm preaching. Let me get on my pulpit. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the donation. That was very, very, very nice. I better be careful that I hear myself. Then what did I say, Jim? did I just go in a circle again? Sometimes I do say stuff that I get stuck. You guys got to push me, prod me along. And I am with you guys. Believe me, I'm not some sort of guru up here. I just have been through the school of hard knocks and learned a few things, and I'm sharing that with you. Well, what got me out of that negative loop? Because I'm a pretty positive guy, and I've always been a pretty positive guy, except a few years of my life I went down the negative road. And a big reason of why I went down the negative road was because I tied my energy to other people who were in that negative. And what happens is while you're in it, you don't see it happening. So you have two people. One's positive, one's negative. The negative person can either come up to the positive, or the positive person will eventually come down to the negative. But eventually you will find equilibrium somewhere. I didn't protect myself and ground myself, and I came lower and lower and lower, and I joined the negative, and before I knew it, I had destroyed my life. And I looked around and I was like, how the hell who am I? How did I become this person? And it was a very subtle and slow poison that you don't see it happening while you're in it. And then all of a sudden you look around one day and go, what the hell happened? How am I here? And it has been work to pull myself and separate and come back up. And that is a thing, like I had a hard time with that in old relationships, that I would date a really negative person, and you live with that person and you love them, so you put up with that, and that's just how they are. But what happens is you subconsciously move to their level, and you get dragged down to that. And then you guys have to be careful of that, man. Be really careful about who you start spending time with. If you have the energy vampire, the negative Nancy's in your life, you got to start limiting their time. Now, if you are some sort of positive energy generator where you can ramp past that, and you can be the positive person in a pile of negativity, if you can be the one crab in the bucket that somehow gets to the top, go for it. You can drag those other people up. Sometimes you can be an inspiration, and just you vibrating higher will change everybody around you. And that can happen. If you're not that strong yet, and you're still going through it, my advice is to distance yourself and start hanging out with the right kind of people. You want to hang out with people that build you up instead of tear you down. And that's tough love, man. That is a tough boat, because there are people I've been friends with my whole life that are really negative Nancy's, and you have to be careful not to spend too much time, or you start agreeing with them, and you find yourself bitching, having a bitch fest with them. It's like, oh man, and I think that is one of the hardest lessons in this lifetime, is what do you do when the people around you love are negative? I love them. I can't abandon them. But at what cost do you sacrifice your own health, And what cost do you sacrifice your own happiness? it's a tougher thing to do. You know, I have to say, at what cost? How long do you hang in on a sinking ship if you're not happy? And I had a circle of friends that I had to completely get rid of, because it was every time I got around them, I didn't like who I became. I was saying stuff and I heard stuff come out of my mouth and I was like, whoa, that's not me. Or a certain person will make you, they'll hit your buttons and you'll like become an angry person, or you'll belt that negative energy back at them, and it's like, whoa, 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 that's not me. Where's that coming from? I found myself like just doing and saying stuff that it really felt like somebody walked in my body and used it and said these things and left, and it was like it was not who I am and not who I feel I am. It's a very weird sensation when, I don't know if any of you guys have read or have rode that rock bottom moment in your life where you do stupid things. And it is, if you talk to like someone who's like an alcoholic or something, they will say it feels like somebody steps in their bodies, makes them drink, and then gives them back their bodies with a hangover. Like, it is like some other personality comes in and runs you down. It's very it's very interesting because you can pick up that negative stuff and it will come through you if you don't really protect yourself and ground you out. But the cool thing is you can also use that to put yourself around a bunch of positive people, and you will start doing good and positive things without even trying. So you have to surround yourself with the right community. And my community, I am very protective over. You come over to my my community in here and hang out, and you be a jerk and a troll, you're gone. I throw people out for very little. When you come here, the whole point of me doing my shows is for you to come in, maybe learn something. Maybe we learn a lesson or two, right? But you come out feeling better. You feel energized. You feel you're vibrating higher than when you came in. And if I can do that every single show and get you guys feeling a little better, then you're going to go out and you're going to vibrate better. And people around you are going to pick up that. And we can make a ripple of positivity and bring this place up a little bit each time. Each time we can do something. And it doesn't really even matter what the show is. We could sit here and talk about, like pee and urine like we did for an hour. And it's still a positive ripple when we're done because we're still feeling good about it when we finish. And we've learned a little bit. I always joke that it's like Fat Albert, where he'd always say, if you're not careful, you might learn something. And so that's where I'm going is. I like to teach you a little bit, but the main point of this is to raise you up. Burma says, I always say it's not selfish to be self-serving. We need to move people out of our lives that aren't positive. Yeah, it's just tough. That was a tough lesson because, I was married to a woman who wasn't very positive, and it was I just couldn't leave. I loved it, and that was a tough lesson I had to learn because, especially when your life is intertwined, if you have like a negative spouse or a negative family member or a negative parents, someone you're like blood tied to, you're going to have to redefine the rules. But we're going to get into that. Camilla Blossom, thanks for watching me on YouNow. Thanks for coming in. Okay, so how do you handle people you're like kind of stuck with? What do we do about you got a negative mother, or you got a negative father, or you got negative brothers or sisters? What do you do? Wow. So you're kind of stuck with these people, and this is another really unpopular thing to say. But just because you're born with these people does not mean they have to be in your life that much. Just because you're blood relative does not mean you have to invest that much energy. If every time you interact with a family and you're drained, that's not a good interaction. Now, you can retrain your family. There's a time where people can call and say, I don't know, you have a cousin or something that every time they call, all they want to do is bitch and vent. Well, you can turn around and start asking them good things like, hey, what really good things happened this month in your life? What things, you can steer the conversation towards positive things. And you can retrain them. So every time they start going down a negative, oh, God, damn president and Medicare and all these politics and blah, 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 you'd be like, oh, that's nice. So tell me, hey, how's your hobby coming along? How are you doing with your horse training? What's going on with your horseback? Oh, man, it's great. I've got a new trailer. I'm building. Tell me all about that. What you do is you just steer the conversation to nothing but positive things. And after a while, you'll retrain them to start talking to you positively, and it won't be an energy vampire drain, when you talk to them. So you have to be a little proactive, and you have to steer it, because everybody likes talking about themselves. So find something going on good in that person's life, no matter how small. A person could be on disability, riddled, they hate their life, they're, practically dying of diabetes, but they have a cat they love. Oh yeah? Let's talk about this cat. Tell me what's the cat do this week? Have you ever tried this nip? What's his favorite catnip? Have you ever got him a cat tower? Oh yeah? Have you tried the laser pointer? It's awesome. I love it. Send me a little film of them playing with the laser pointer. You do that sort of stuff, all of a sudden, that whole tone changes. And your relationship will change with these people. You can train other people around you to be positive when they interact with you. They will go and bitch to someone else and ruin their life, but they won't do it to you. Because what I did is when I used to get calls like that from family members, I would just be like, I would push back positive, and if they wouldn't go positive, I'd be like, I gotta go. And that would be it. I wouldn't call them for a month or two, and then next time I try it again. And eventually you get to a point where you can start getting them to be positive patties. Oh, Burma split. I'm sorry. I was on a soapbox when you split. Thanks for coming by. I appreciate that. Oh, and Jonar, thanks for coming by. I really appreciate it. I hope this helped a little bit. I'm hoping you got a little love out of this. I do have to check the stream for a sec. Oh, we've been on 1 minute and 11 seconds. 11:11. There you go. All right. Well, 1:11. I guess that doesn't count as much. So let's. I'm just checking D Live to see if people are over there yakking away. Hey, D Live, thanks for joining me over here. I appreciate you watching. I'm trying to break out to all new places here. So you'll see me besides YouTube talking to other platforms and spreading some love around there. Okay, what did I miss from you guys? Reverend Hall says, the sun still shines at daybreak and the moon shines at night. The road goes on forever. There's never an end in sight. Very, very deep. I feel like you should put that on a card and sell it. It's very nice. All right, Pottle Dog. If in doubt, remind yourself that pussycats do indeed have noses made of velvet. And then all will be well in the world. That's true. It's so funny. I could be in such a bad mood and the cat will come over and nose me and I'm like instantly out of it. It's amazing cats have that power. Although cats also make me have some anxiety because I'll be like, when he ignores me, my feelings get so hurt. I'll be like, why does he not want me to scratch him? Why? Why do you not want me to pet you? It's so funny. Oh yeah, there you go. Let's put the word prawn in. It's too much sucked into the fear prawn. Ah, you're learning. Lava girl, thank you. Jorah. Hi, Jorah. Yeah, set boundaries. Jorah's talking about setting boundaries, and that's a really smart thing to say. I have to say, Jorah, that's another tough lesson you'll learn is how to set boundaries with friends and family. I have certain friends I go to just for a chuckle and laugh, but we don't talk about anything deeper or philosophical ever. It is just a simple chuckle factory. I go there, I laugh, and that's what that is, and it's good. It brings my vibration up, puts me in a good mood. I have some people that I've completely cut off in my life talking to because I don't feel good when I finish with the interactions. And it really comes down to that simple. Do you feel better when you talk to this person? It's that easy. Um, the hard part is nothing's ever black and white. You're usually like related to this person, or they've been your friend for 30 years or whatever. So it's not as simple as black and white. But I will tell you this. You can just do small interactions and steer those interactions so you stay friends with these people. And sometimes they come around and come out and they come with you. I have seen that where you start asking them positive things and they start feeling better about themselves, and they want to be around your positive energy and they start coming along for that ride. So that's a good thing. It can go that direction for you. The other thing is that then there's groups of people like this. Like I go into the chats, and sometimes I'll go in the Afterglow and talk, or I'll just email people. And man, I'm in a good mood like 95% of the day. I'm rocking and rolling because I surround myself with people that will either send me positive messages, selfless messages, just do something really nice. Like I'll just get like a super nice email for no reason, and I'll be like, "Whoa, that's so nice." And when you surround yourself with groups of people like that, it really is easy to be nice and positive. It's not work at all. Like I wake up, I'm ready to go. I'm happy. Let's do this. Let's dance. And yeah, Mrs. Waffle says, give them the Care Bear stare. That's it. The Care Bear stare. That is true. It's very powerful. And and if people are negative around you, you can go so as direct. Like you can watch someone like Unirock. Unirock will call someone out when they're just being negative Nancy's. He'll be like, man, I can't be around that negative energy. He'll just call it straight up. And then the person sometimes will be like, oh, okay. They'll back out. You can be that direct with some people. I prefer more of the subtle change the topic slide. And this is like, because, I was in sales so long, it's like an old sales technique where somebody will bitch about some problem with the, I don't know, you're selling a car and they'll be like, well, is the gas mileage blah, 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 blah. Yes. But did you see how comfortable the seats are and they're heated? Oh, yeah. It's like, whoop, it's the shift to the positive. And you can do that with your friends and family and people you interact with. You just have to figure out how much energy you're willing to invest and how much energy you want to put back into yourself. Because a lot of this, you're never going to be a good husband. You're never going to be a good parent. You're not going to be a good friend if you can't be happy yourself. If you don't know how to be happy and you can't build yourself, you're going to be a crappy mom. You have to be in a good place to be a good mom. And so this is the one time in your life that you can be selfish, is when you're talking about your own happiness. That you need to take care of yourself, and a lot of that is that positive loop I'm talking about. You go into that circle where you make it a pattern and you make it a habit, so you're always making good decisions without having to spend much energy. And when you get to that point, everything changes because the people around you will pick up on that and start doing it as well, even if they don't mean to. They'll just subconsciously react to it. You can bring your whole family up if you start. If you be the mechanism, you have to be the linchpin. And you have to break the habits. If your husband comes home and, he's had another crappy day at work, and he sits down at the table and you guys are all talking about it, and all you guys do is vent about crappy shit, you can stop that cycle. Stop that cycle. Yeah, if he has to vent for a second, fine. Put your guard up, don't listen to it, then blow back. So, what about the new project you did? What good things happened? What did this? Go to your kids. What good thing happened in school today? What you have to initiate that change for your household if you want that to happen. Because the other reaction is the crab in the bucket. If you're a shining, star and you start rising up of this positivity, there will be people that you make uncomfortable in that life that don't want to see you move ahead. They want you to join their misery party, and they will grab you and try to drag you back down to where they are. And that is when you have to just limit your time. And even if that's your spouse, even if that's your kids, it's hard. You can retrain them only so much, but you can't do it at the cost of your soul. It will... You're better than this. You can't just coast through life with this mediocre life where, you go to work and you just freaking talk about football or whatever you're going to do, and that's it. That's like the highlight of your life. You're better than this, man. You're here. You're listening to this because you're not the average Joe. You can break out of that prison that you create for yourself. You don't have to go down the road society tells you have to go down just because it's the thing to do. You got to do what makes you happy, and that is hard. I have a real struggle with that because I'm like an empath and a giver, and I'm rarely, when I find myself saying, this is the way it is, I'm going to do what I want, I sound like a jerk, but it is what I need to stay healthy and sane. Because I've destroyed my life so many times by getting into bed with negative people, and it slowly eats you away without you realizing it. And I really got to not let that happen. I got to be much more protective about who I hang out with and the vibe that I'm around. Because when I'm around this vibe, it's easy. It's so easy to be happy and in a good place. You guys are awesome. I like my Italian attention I'm getting here. I like getting all these. Thank you, Marina. I appreciate the Italians here. I love it. It's so cool that, we're sitting, think about this. We're sitting together. We got people from Italy. I've got all these people from Canada. I don't know why Canadians get this so good, but I appreciate that you guys must have a cool vibe up there. I got people from New Zealand in the chat, and I believe someone from India and someone from Australia. And just to think how amazing that is for a minute, that we can find each other around the world to give each other some love and juice and energy and get fired up and support each other. I say it every show. Do you listen? Support each other. Love each other. Take care of each other. This world's not about just you. You have a higher purpose here to go out and take care of other people and help them. And sometimes that is by being a little selfish. By taking care of yourself and putting yourself with positive people, you generate positive energy that ripples out. If you get dragged down to the bucket of crabs, you're not helping anybody. You're not doing the positive. So I know I'm sending like two messages, but they are the same message. Protect yourself, your happiness, so you generate nice, good, positive energy. And then the second thing is go out and spread that. Once you got yourself straight, man, go out and be a positive energy generator. Go out there and bring this place up, man. And that's what you got to... That's the lesson of today. Oh, no, Diana, I appreciate you swinging through. Hey, I'd love to have you back on. You let me know when you're available. And I want to have you come on and talk about starting a business. You were a popular guest. A lot of people said they want me to bring you back. So I hope you'll come back, Diana. I really appreciate it. Alien Addict. Oh, man, I haven't seen you for a while. Hi, Alien Addict. I'm so glad you're back. We're having a little pep talk here for 2018. I'll be like a coach. You guys don't know, this is another thing I did in my life, is I coached rugby for many years, and I coached mainly women's rugby. I didn't really care for coaching men. Men don't listen. They're not easy to coach, but women actually listen. So it's a much better experience coaching women. If you ever get the choice, coach women. And I used to have to give like inspirational pep talks, and we were always the underdog, man. And we'd have to get fired up, and it's all up here, And it's funny that carries over to so many other aspects of life, because it seems weird about, like, what does sports have to do with any of this? Because sports, why you're violent and you're running into each other and you're beating each other down in rugby. But there's a real positive message too, is that it's a challenge within where you have to dig deep inside you, and you challenge yourself to be better physically and be better mentally. And it is an important lesson that carries over everywhere. So when you coach and give an inspirational speech, it's just like this. I'm just trying to inspire you to make the positive decision to make your life go the right direction. And it's that easy. Oh my gosh, it's that easy. Just keep doing it, and within a few weeks, you will just do it automatically. Your brain changes. It's just another damn habit loop. Our whole life is just habits. And we have to sit back and we're like, how did these habits start and why did they start? And who the hell's habits do I have in me? Like, where did these even come from? Because most of the stuff you do is on automatic and you don't even know where it came from. It was something you learned in 5th grade from your kindergarten teacher that some reason stuck with you for the rest of your life. Why do you do this stuff? And you have to get deeper on yourself and be like, where did this habit come from? Why am I constantly think this is a bad idea or this is a good idea? And when you sit back and question it, it really gives you a lot of power of changing your habits. The other thing you got to understand is with habits is that you have to habits, they're hard to you can't really ever get rid of a bad habit. You can just suppress it. It's always there. You can bring it back out if you really want. But you could override it with a good habit, and you can even substitute good things into the habit. In other words, there's always like a cue, and then an action, and then a reward. And you can keep the cue and the reward the same and change the action, and your brain will still accept it and like it. As long as it's getting, the reward, it'll do whatever. It's you train your brain, and in this case, it's training it to make positive decisions. If you train your brain to make positive decisions instead of negative decisions, your reward is you feel good. You're like, oh man, I got a good life right now. I'm pretty damn happy. And this is I keep saying this is our year. I really feel good about this. There's a good energy in the air, and I haven't said that in a long time, but it is definitely out there, and I hope you guys feel it too. Okay, Puddle Duck. Wow, Dr. Lupo, when we were young, they were brutal at school. Oh yeah, school sucked. Government school sucks. I would never send my kid to school. I would homeschool in a minute these days. I don't know how parents do it now. So yeah, the times in life are the worst are when you force people to be together where they can't leave. Things like prison and things like school. That's when you see bullying. Because in real life, if somebody bullies me now in real life, I just walk away and I never talk to him again. Problem solved. Where when you're a kid and you have to keep going to school and you can't get away from it, that's really, or prison, you can't get out of it. That's when you really see real bullying, and that is really tough. So, that's all I'm saying. Did anyone hear that feedback when he said government school sucks? I don't know what you mean. You mean it squelched and did it squeal? Yeah. Oh, Kiersey, me, thanks for joining us. We are talking positivity today about how to go into 2018 fired up and ready to go. And we were talking about earlier, because I see that we keep getting a lot of new people kind of surfing in. The beginning of the show, we talked about that you have to kind of trick your brain into thinking it's already happened. And what that does is put out really good energy, and you attract really good energy back. Whatever vibe you put out, you bring back. And you already know this. It's not like you haven't heard it. The difference is today I really focused on why you're not living that way. Because a lot of people know this and they don't live that way. They continue to stay in the fear cycle and can't bust out of it. So that is the topic today if you want to throw your 2 cents in. We're also talking about habit loops and how to break bad habits, and talking about manifesting and miracles, because all that stuff's real. It is real. Manifesting is, if you don't believe in it, I feel bad for you, because I've seen it work over and over and over in my life. It's one of the most consistent things that I see. Okay, so if you guys have questions for me, please tag me. That's weird. Everybody heard when I said the word government school. Everybody heard it. Did it do it again? Government school, government school. Did it squeal at you this time? Yeah. Kiersey says, yep, I've had great results with that. Yes, I have to catch myself from going down the fear and just not giving. Yeah, it's really, we were talking about this earlier. It's just a knee-jerk reaction. Like, we learn from the people we're hanging out with. If something happens and your first reaction is negative, that is what will happen. You just stay negative. And that will create a habit. So whenever a decision comes, you go negative. And a lot of that is picked up from who you were raised with and who you were taught. Because, you look to your parents. Are they positive or are they negative when they come across something? And that's your first experience. And then that teaches you how to deal with the world. Oh, well, mom acted like this and dad acted like this, so maybe I should act like this. This is our normal. And then as an adult, you grow up and you're like, where the hell did this come from? Why am I always pissed off when something goes wrong and I can't seem to work a problem? I get sad, anxiety, and depressed instead of, okay, this is a problem, let's work around it. It's amazing watching different people who are raised differently react to the same problem. Like some people just get crippled and just go into like a depression, anxiety ball, and then other people, it's like a little speed bump. Okay, so what? My car broke down. All right, tomorrow I'll fix it. Whatever, move on. It's amazing what a difference that can be depending on where you pick that up from. Okay. What are you guys yakking? Nobody's asking me a question. I didn't see. Iron J Rock. Oh my God, Doc! I just had this conversation with my buddy like 2 days ago. Well, add what you want to add into this because I agree that. I mean, you have to trace it back. Like a lot of this is taught from you as a kid, and it's so easy to blame like our parents for everything. But after a while, you have to get to a point where you're like, okay, I am an adult. I can no longer blame my parents for my problems. I have to, sure, they could have helped me more. Every kid blames their parents for something. It's just nature. You could be like, oh, they could have helped me more. They could have done a better job. But at some point, you have to get past that and say, okay, now I'm responsible for my happiness. And a lot of people never have that talk with themselves. They're just on automatic where they react the same way their parents react, which is the same way their grandparents reacted, which is the same way their grandparents reacted. And it's generally, you inherit negativity. And you have to be the one to break that cycle. Or your kids are going to they're going to handle the same problems the same way. They're going to have anxiety and depression whenever a problem comes up instead of a way to work around it and making it something positive. Because every problem can have a positive side. You just have to find it. Some of the crappiest things that ever happened to me, I can look back 3 or 4 years later and go, yeah, that sucked at the time, but man, here's the lesson I learned, and I changed my life so much better for the better. Like I always go back to my rock bottom moments. That sucked. It was not fun going through that, but I'm really glad I did because I'm on the other side a lot better and I learned a lot of lessons. Oh, Lava Girl, you're not allowed to leave. Where are you going? Okay, Iron J Rod said, that's exactly what his therapist told him. His dad was an absolute, yeah, okay, prick, and that's what he learned. Yeah, and it's amazing because I remember I was dating this one girl and their entire family communicated by yelling and putting each other down. And then she would do that to me. And I was like, whoa, 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 I don't talk to you like that. Why are you doing that to me? And I remember going over to dinner with them and their parents were like just yelling at each other. And their brothers were yelling at each other. And it was like, this is really weird. And it was their normal. Like that was, that was their normal. And you see this in Italian households. We're really guilty of it. Italian households, they communicate by yelling at each other, but then they laugh about it. So I don't know. But it is your choice now. You could only use your childhood as an excuse for so long. After that, your childhood is responsible for putting it in motion and putting it in your unconscious where maybe you're doing these things and you never thought about it. But now I'm pulling it to your front door and saying, think about it. Why do you react this way? Think about it. Where did it come from? And after you think about it, you'll be like, oh, well, my mom reacted the same way. I guess maybe I learned it from her. Or I was fine until I dated this guy and he was abusive and now I'm abusive. I picked that up. Or now I'm not the nicest to people. Or I was hurt really bad in relationships and now I hurt everybody. Sorry. That excuse doesn't cut it anymore, man. I mean, I'm glad you can recognize it. You have to be honest with yourself and say, okay, that's where it came from. And it'll take a while necessarily to work through that. You'll find that someone will hit the right button and you'll react to something. Your new boyfriend did something that your old boyfriend did, and now you just jump out of your skin for no reason at him. But if you communicate and you pull your boyfriend aside and say, I'm sorry I reacted that way. You know, I still got this old junk in here from my last boyfriend. I'm going to work to tone that down and reprogram it. You can reprogram that in a few weeks. It could be done. It could be a whole different life for you. You do not have to live with that pain. You just have to keep, every time, you have to be aware that's why it's happening, and then choose a positive a plan of attack. And don't randomly do it. Like, pretend right now. You go, okay, I know I have a problem with X. My ex-boyfriend did this. So next time this happens, here's how I'm going to act. And you have a plan of attack. And you plan how you're going to react, and you keep trying to do it over and over until you build it into a habit. And once you build it into a habit, you no longer have to think about it. It just happens. That is the way. That's the big secret right there. I just saved you years of therapy. That's a tool that'll help you get rid of all your past junk. It really helped me move on. Is I recognized it. I had a plan of attack to go the opposite direction of my normal reaction. And after I did it enough, I was able to catch it. Because when you recognize it, you recognize your trigger, you're like, oh, you pushed my trigger. That's why I acted like this. And you own up to it. I'm sorry. I'm working on that. That's not going to keep happening. I'm going to work on that. That goes a long way. It goes a long way in your relationship, man, because people understand that. But when you just yell at your boyfriend for no damn good reason, he doesn't understand. Well, my girl's mental. She just blows up for no reason. If he doesn't understand why you're acting that way, you know, that's going to end badly. But if you can tell him why it's at, you know, I've got this old past stuff. I'm working on it. I'm reacting. I'm sorry if I did this. That goes so far. Same with you guys. You treating your girls bad and stuff. You're blowing up at them for no reason. It's the same deal. Or men on men. Whatever your flavor. I don't care. I'm not trying to say men or women. Whatever. You know what I'm trying to put across here. Damn it. All right. Man, I am dropping some passion today here. I hope you guys are feeling what I'm dealing. Marina, I'm sorry to have to call my mother and say I love her, and yet Italian. Yes, I eat in Italian stuff. That's funny. Yes. You guys are the awesome. I love the Italian contingency here. Thank you. Goodbye and good attraction lot, everybody. Thanks for coming. I really appreciate it. Thank you. I hope you got something out of this today, and you go practice it today. Don't just listen to this. Go practice it. Right now, pick one thing. What is your biggest trigger you would love to de-trigger? What is the one thing? Do your kids drive you nuts? Does your spouse drive you nuts? Does your mom drive you nuts? What is the one trigger you can identify right now? And then come up with a plan of attack. So, my trigger, I eat. I guess I eat when I'm upset. Maybe I shouldn't eat when I'm upset. Maybe I should go do something positive. What do I like doing? Playing a game. I'm going to get mad and go play a game. You know, I want to do something healthy instead of eat. Something positive and not destructive. Go find, and it has to be something you really love. Like, you can't be like, well, I eat when I'm upset, so I'm going to do push-ups instead. No, your body doesn't really want to do push-ups. You could say, I really love this TV show. I'm going to go watch that instead. Or I love playing on the computer. Or I love checking my email. Or whatever it is. Go find something else to do. That'll really help. Hey, Mert, thank you for joining me over at YouNow. I see you over there. Hello. Tracy says, Taryn, it's called personal responsibility. Yeah. But what it is, Tracy, though, is a lot of people don't realize this stuff. Like, you know, you're just on automatic. Unless you think about it, where did these things come from? Why do I act this way? When someone says X, why do I act like Y? Unless you learn how to recognize your triggers, you're just a victim of a habit loop, a pattern of somebody else's pattern that stuck it in your head when you were a kid. And when you identify it, it lets you break free. All right. Yeah. Paul says, my dad wasn't even aware of his negative mindset until I made him aware of it. A lot of people, that's their normal. Their parents were negative. Their friends are all negative. Their whole way they live their life, they're negative. they don't know what positive is. That's like they're normal. They think they're good, nice people. Everybody acts like that, right? Doesn't everybody fight and get angry at each other? Doesn't everybody insult their friends and family? Doesn't like that's their norm. They don't understand that there is people out there that don't act like this. And you have to kind of retrain them. If you love them, you got to put the time in and retrain them. Otherwise, you just got to limit how much time you put in with them and say, you know, this time around we rolled the dice and I didn't get such a great dad, but I'm not going to spend my life trying to fix this problem. Instead, I'm going to go out and make a lot more friends that'll fill that gap. You know, I know that's hard to say, but don't stay with your family just because like they're blood. If they're destructive and tear you down, you don't owe them just because you were born to them. I know that sounds terrible, but it is true. You know, you didn't ask to be born. You're here. Am I grateful? Sure. Do I owe you everything? Do I owe you my own happiness and my own soul to take care of you because you're negative and you can't figure out how to get out of that loop? No. I'm not going to destroy my life because you can't figure out how to be happy. That's it. Whew. Let's see. You guys got me so fired up today. I've got to I've got to come back down. Why you guys got to get me so fired up? All right. But I'm trying to at least drop some good knowledge on you guys to walk out of here and do one thing. So the one thing we're going to do is you're going to find your most annoying trigger. You're going to come up with an attack plan for 2018. When someone sets it off, you're going to recognize it and go, oh, the reason I'm upset, this is old stuff to trigger. Here's how I'm going to act. And you're going to consciously do that over and over and over until it's a new pattern. It's that easy. You can completely change your life by eliminating your biggest trigger. Completely change it. And it is something you just have to identify. And really, if you're having a hard time identifying a trigger, ask someone around you. They'll tell you. Hey, what's my big trigger? Oh, Mom, it's dirty dishes. Dirty dishes make you crazy. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, how am I going to react next time? So try to find a positive thing. Iron J Rod. Lupo family, I got to bounce too. Lots of cleaning to do. And I'm going to attack the leaky pipe. All right, new tile. Lots of love and positivity. Here's your power to the people, man. Power to you. All right, you now, Bionic Jen, thanks for watching. And Elogia. And Sage Lorraine. And wow, I got all these kind of people. Miss Casey, thanks for coming over on you now. I appreciate the love. We're talking about positivity and changing old habits and what to do with people around you that are negative, like energy vampires, and how to deal with interacting with them. And we are talking about especially how to do it when it's your family. Like, oh, geez, what do we do? All right. Let's see. Dennis says, time to read The Power of the Subconscious Mind again. Yeah, man. Whatever moves you forward, that's awesome. Zail. Taryn, when using things like video games as therapy recourse, I'd recommend not spewing out whatever toxicity that needs to be released. A common issue I see in games. Yeah, that's a good point. Zail, a lot of times people go into gaming and they're complete jerks to each other. I usually play games that make me feel better. I do silly games. You don't see me usually doing... if you've ever watched me game on here, I'm usually doing like 1980s Pac-Man and stuff, or whatever it is. It's not like... It's not games that really make me upset or I'm not that invested. I've watched some people that like lose their mind in their game, you know. Like somebody dies and their character dies in World of Warcraft and they're like throw their keyboard. Yeah, or cuss out the people they're with. That's not a good energy to be around either, so yeah. Tracy says, my mom is loved, but should definitely be called Nancy. I'll do that in British. Ready? There's my British talk. My mom's loved, but she definitely should be called Nancy. She's such a Nancy. A little bit negative. A little negative. A wee bit. Tiny bit. Or am I getting more Irish there? I'm sounding a little more Irish. Irish is more leprechaun-y, sing-songy. British is... Oh, we go more Cockney. We'll just be like me mum. My mum is loved and she'd definitely be called Nancy. Get a little Cockney. Alright. Oh, I missed long hair. She says, be the love you needed all your life. Oh, that is nice, everybody says. Oh, Clary Ann Baker, thanks for coming. I appreciate you dropping the truth bomb over here. Yeah, we're talking about how to stay positive in a world of negativity. How do you be that shining light? And what do you do with all the negative people in your life that won't come along for the ride or that are dragging their feet around? So, yeah. Paul, I look happy. Yeah, I'm actually feeling great. I'm in a good mood today. I'm fasting. It's a topic that hits home, and the reason I'm saying this is because I have walked through this fire and come out the other side, and I'm sharing what worked for me. It might not work for you. Maybe you have to find your own path, but at least I dropped a few ideas, and maybe it'll get you along that road. I'm just glad that I am going to continue preaching this all 2018 because these little changes make the hugest ripples later on in your life. These little quantum comebacks, you know, you put it out in the quantum and all things change for you. Paul says, sorry for the shameless plug, but anyone into e-racing, check out my channel. All right, Paul, go ahead and drop a link, bro. You've been around long enough. I'll let you promote your own channel. Go to it. Everybody go check out Paul's racing. E-racing, you mean like video game racing, or I don't know what e-racing is, so maybe you should explain that. Puddle Duck, your advice about staying positive stuff to a negative people is spot on. It really does not work even with the stubborn ones over time. They come to expect it of you and respond. Yeah, Jim, there's some souls, and this is a tough lesson. There's some souls that you can't pull out of their negative spiral. They're here in this existence to experience that, and no matter what you do, you're not going to turn that around, and that is tough. I've said this kind of analogy before, but I think you need to hear it again. It is much like an apartment building on fire, and you know the apartment's fire. You see the smoke in the halls. You only got a few minutes to get out. And you start running down and letting everybody know. You knock on the first door and you're like, there's a fire, and the first guy gets out. Go to the second door, there's a fire, and the guy's like, okay, let me get my kids and my cat, I'm out of here. Knock on the third door, and the third person wants to argue with you if there's a fire or not. Hey, there's a fire, this place is burning down, you got to get out and save your life. No, we're going to talk about if there's really... I don't really believe that smoke's smoke. I don't really believe the heat's heat. And I don't really think there's a fire. Are you going to stand there and talk to this guy in the hallway for the next 30 minutes while you both burn to death? Or are you going to say, okay, move to the next door. Hey, there's a fire. Move to the next door. Hey, there's a fire. Sometimes in life you've got to do that. You've got to go ahead and move to the next door. You've said it as much as you can. It might be your parent. It might be your spouse. It might be your kid. And some of those people are on their own path and will come back around on their own time, but you're not the one that's going to do it for them. You could be a shining light of positivity in their life, and they go, man, that guy lives a good life. And maybe you can inspire them, but try to talk to them about if the fire's here, is the place burning down or not? Sometimes you got to walk away and let them burn. And that is a very tough lesson to do in life because you will burn with them if you stay. I hope that makes sense. Okay. Let's see what you guys say. True dat. Thank you. He hate me. Gemma says, I said it does work. Oh, it does work. Sorry. Yeah. If you ever hear me read out loud, you see I'm reading like really slow. Paul says it's the e-racing. It's an on-your-lane simulator. Okay. Very cool. Yeah, go check out his channel. I didn't know you were into e-racing at all. So feel free. I'll come out and check that out. So, I really appreciate you guys coming in today. We've had a hard, long talk about what to do about negative people in your life when you're surrounded by negativity and you're like the positive guy. And how to stay positive. And how we're going to come out in 2008 and rock this world and change some of our negative habits that are so self-destructive. Because you have to redo these habits. And the good news is once you recognize them, you can break out of this loop. And on the spiritual realm, you put out that energy If you think about nothing but good and happy things come to your life a lot more than the negative. And the negative stuff that comes, you can turn it around and make it good. It is so up to you on what you want to manifest. This reality is malleable. You can make it into anything you want. You can bring it with enough focus and attention. You can manifest anything. It's real. Miracles happen. It's this stuff happens. It's the real deal. So, if you want positive changes in your life, you have to focus on positive things, and it's really hard for some of you guys that are trained and programmed negatively. Like, that's just your reality. Is you're brought up that way, your parents are brought up that way, everything that happens is negative. So it's up to you, and you need to step up and check it out. Oh, hey, I just got someone on you now I don't know how to say your name right. Sorry, I'm not trying to butcher that, but it's Faru. Thank you. I appreciate you becoming a fan. Maybe you can break that name down for me. I feel bad about not being able to say that, but I'm also streaming on other platforms, you guys, so I'm saying hi to the YouNow folks that keep coming and going. And Doreen stopped in there for a minute, so if you're still here, Doreen, thanks. Appreciate you watching. We've been streaming a little while, though, and we are jamming. So, what do you guys, you want to ask me any questions before I start? You better stop it, long hair. If you guys want to ask me any questions before I go, I'm going to drop 10. I got 10 more minutes. You guys can ask me whatever you want, and yeah, you'll burn down with them if you stay. I've heard that. Somewhere I've heard that message. You guys say some negative is interpretation. Stop smoking so much weed. Oh, you should try some. It's medically relaxing. So what's the negative, positive, perspective? Yeah, I mean, it's perspective. Whatever you think is your thing. If you want to, weed makes some people really happy in life. And if you don't think it's too inflammatory and not destroying you, do it. If you get a lot more out of it. You're a grown as person. You should put whatever you want in your body. It's not up for me to tell you. Now, if you're sick and you feel miserable and you live a lifestyle of inflammation where you're eating foods that inflame you, you smoke and it inflames you, you drink it inflames you, and you wonder why you're chronically sick, yeah, then stop complaining about it. You've chosen that path. But if you just don't know any better and you're like, man, I'm sick and I don't know why, and you want to find a way out of that, then yeah, change your lifestyle. But if you're able to balance things in your life that make you happy, that don't just tear you down too fast, that's cool. Do your thing, man. I'm not here to... it's funny because I'm like a doctor who doesn't preach health to you. You're a grown-ass person. You do what you want to do. Now, if you don't know any better and you didn't know that there are other ways that you can do stuff, then yeah, I'll be happy to help you. But I'm not here to preach to you about your health, about that. Okay. All right. Jibba says it's very relaxing. Oh, no, it's not. That's just a lot of society stuff. The pot stuff is not negative for some people. I only have an issue with people that smoke, because smoke is inflammatory. If you want to eat it, it's not that bad for you. But if you want to smoke it, anything you smoke, including pot, is inflammatory to your lungs. It doesn't matter. Smoke is inflammatory. There's no physics around that. That's all I'm saying. Okay, so go eat it. There you go. Alrighty. How do we always get into these conversations? All of a sudden, you guys are talking to me about pot. Why are we talking about pot? I don't know what happened here. All right, so I see some folks at YouNow. Oh, Zahil's down there. Hey, man, thanks for coming back to YouNow. He's bouncing back and forth. Zahil, I appreciate that. Paul, oh, man, dropped $5 on me. $5 British. That's a lot. The pounds are worth mucho. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Thanks. Doc, you missed the misspelling. It was a joke. Oh, okay. Oh, wee whack. Okay. I'm sorry. I get it now. I get it. Puddle Duck, sometimes you got to remember that I've got 6 different streams going. I'm watching 2, 3 live feeds at the same time, trying to keep topical because I'm talking straight for 2 hours without taking a break, and reading and answering your questions. And I'm dyslexic. Sometimes things just pass by and I don't notice. You have to kind of beat me over the head and be like, "Hey, dude, that was a joke." And I'll look back at it and I'll be like, "Oh yeah, yeah, okay, sorry." Yeah, sometimes I do that. Okay. Mommy's to-dos. Oh yeah. Oh, Kiri, feel free to drop your link if you can. You're welcome to drop that in for your channel too. She's got a family vlog channel that's pretty fun. Okay. Susanna, go out and be the love the world needs. Positivity is contagious, so keep the vibes high, my friends. That's right. If you guys are new to the channel, we call ourselves the High Tribe Vibe, the High Vibe Tribe, and I keep mixing it up. It sounds like we're all stoners. The High Tribe Vibe, the High Vibe, like we have a high vibration tribe, and you can subscribe to the High Vibe Tribe if I can learn how to speak correctly. One of these days, I'm gonna try to keep rhyming it. So, I mean, part of my goal is to be like a black preacher who can rhyme everything he says. That's one of my goals in life, and I'm trying harder to be like, subscribe to the High Tribe Vibe. You too will subside and come on in and sit on my side. I don't know. I'm gonna keep working on it because I really want to try to get better at rhyming. It is one of my goals, and I do want to bring back jive talk, which I'm still working on, and I will never give that up as long as I live. It'll be my tombstone won't be in jive. Period. So that's what I expect. All right. Tracy, an off now, Chitty-O. Oh, hey, I was talking British for you earlier, Tracy. You didn't even say anything. That was all for you. That was it. I'll do it in Cockney. And off now, Chitty-O. Happy days, Ted, P. Lupo, P.S. If you eat pot, you constantly mash, you wanker. All right. Does that sound? I added the you wanker, but everything else was there. Okay. So that being said, oh wow, we've been streaming over 2 hours. I didn't realize that. I'm going to wrap the show up because it has been 2 hours, and we oh, that's right. Thank you, Miss Waffles. You always talk jive to me, right? You dig? That's right. Solid. See that? Solid. And Jarrell says he dropped something on Discord. I'll have to check it out after the show, buddy. Sorry. It's too much to keep opening more windows. The airspeed velocity of unladen to swallow in flight. Oh no. Dropping old school Monty Python. Because only true nerds know every single Monty Python skit ever made by heart. And you probably knew that by the time you were 10 in the 80s. Because those are the true nerds. It was like one of the only VHSs we owned was the Holy Grail, of course. Jacob Israel, oh my goodness. Where you been, my man? I'll stay on for you. Because I'll stay on. Jacob, what we talked about is the... that we talked about how you pick up negative loops from other people. That you somehow get these negative ideas in your head, and when a problem comes, you have a choice. You either react negatively or positively. And a lot of times, if you can just identify why that's in there, where did that loop come from? Is it because your parents did that? Can you what happened? You can Jacob likes the cottony. I was teasing my British viewers, so that's the goal, Jacob. You're the king of positivity. I only wish I had your energy because I listen to Jacob and I'm fired up after I'm done. I'm trying to get more. I'm picking up my energy level, but we're talking about how when you have a choice, that if you make a positive choice over and over and over, within a few weeks, you create a positive feedback loop that whenever a problem comes, you'll start moving towards a positive than the old habit of negative. We talked about that. We talked about if you create a vibe that it attracts that energy. If you focus nonstop on these things, positive things in your life, you put that vibe out there and you will attract way more positive things. Manifesting is definitely real. And you're the light too, Jacob. I appreciate you saying that. That's a good thing. Zayil says, get on them B vitamins. Sure. I need to. And then we also talked about, in the beginning that a lot of old cultures and stuff talk about that if you believe it already happened, that it sets that energy in motion. Not only does it trick your subconscious, like if you're saying, I want to lose weight instead of I have lost weight, That supposedly tricks your subconscious. This is all stuff people kind of already know. But it's ancient knowledge. It puts that vibration out. And for about 2 hours, we discussed, yes, we've heard this a million times, but why don't we live this? Why do we not make the crossover of hearing this message to implementing it in our real lives? So I've dropped some tips and some help. And so if you get a chance, you can go back and watch some of the rerun. But I'll stick around because you showed up, and we'll speak Cockney all you want. Kiri, you can't share a page. I'm sorry. I'll have to figure out why. We'll have to. You know what? If one of the mods can share that for her, I don't know if Miss Waffles is still around. If you could share Kiri's page, that'd be nice. Yeah. So Jacob, how do you stay positive, my man? I should bring you on. I appreciate you coming to chat, but it's one of these things. I'm not perfect at it, but I definitely am getting much better at doing a positive thing every time, and it's more work. In the beginning, it's a lot harder. It's more work, but then it becomes natural, and once it becomes a habit, it's not work at all. It's just you have to do that. Jacob Israel, I will, Miss Waffles. Oh, sure. Whew. Shameless. I help her out. She's starting a channel. If you guys have ever I wish someone had reached out to me and helped me when I was just starting a channel, because I did it the hard way. I didn't know anybody. So I try to help out any new channel here that I like. So go show her some love, guys, if you're subscribed. You fake it till you make it. Now, I've heard that a lot, Jacob. I fake it till you make it, and it does, for some people, really work well. But there are, as a doctor, there are some people that are just chemically depressed. And a lot of that is lifestyle, what you're eating. What you're eating is so important for depression, getting your neurotransmitters right. But if you clean up like what you're eating and your lifestyle, the other stuff will completely change your life around. Always looking for the positive solution instead of just diving into the negative. I'm telling you, man. It is so important. It's easy. You pick the one negative trigger you have, find out why you have it, and then every time it comes up, you identify it and replace it with something positive. You do that over and over, just that one thing, and you will change your life in like a month. It is really fascinating how fast it happens. Yeah, Jacob's getting all kinds of love in here. Look at this. Another joke. I know it's another joke. I was with you on that one, Puddle Dog. I still see, Jacob says he worked for me. I still do things I don't want to. You really have to rewire your brain. Yeah, we had another talk about self-discipline, and I think we need to have another chat about that. That basically, the way people are really successful, when you talk to the most successful people, is they're willing to do stuff every day as a habit that other people hate doing. And that's what moves them apart. Because the stuff you don't like doing, if you can figure out a way to like it, or at least put it on automatic so your body just does it, and you create self-discipline, it really moves you forward in life. And that goes with positive attitude. You can put a positive attitude on automatic. So, and let's see. Jacob says that smiling tricks your brain into being happy. Yeah. And also just laughing. Like, I laugh a lot, man. I giggle at myself constantly. I'm like a 12-year-old girl. I'm constantly giggling. And I think that's really, really helpful. Oh, that's about, let's see, why. Oh, we picked up a few stuff. Yeah, we talked about fear and dark stuff, controlling, and all that stuff's real, and it's all out there. And if you focus on it, you will invite it into your life and on your front doorstep. And you will attract whatever you think about. So if you go down the conspiracy side and you get into some very dark stuff, sure, it might be real, but your energy and focus is all there, and that's what you're going to attract in your life. You're going to get paralyzed with fear. And what's funny is if you ever go look at like the prepper community, I like the prepper guys, but holy crap, is that a fear-driven community. Like 95% of them are all about, poop hitting the fan and what they're going to do, and if, how they're going to shoot their neighbors and how they're going to eat their dog when they run out of food. And, like, it's so fear-driven. And Then once in a while, you'll see someone that does a pod, like when I do um, any sort of survival stuff or stuff like that or prepper stuff, it's always with a positive spin. It's like, here's how to empower you, and it's not about eating your dog. You know, it's like, here's how to keep yourself warm so you don't freeze to death. You know, like it's good stuff. So that's it. Oh, there's Kiri's channel. Thank you, Captain Waffles. Thanks for dropping that. Let's see, Jacob. All right, they're just talking to each other. Okay. Oh, thanks. I'm a positive force. Well, you are too, Jacob. I feel like we're on the same path here. We're trying to bring some positivity into this world and raise it up a little bit. I've had a wrestling match with what is my channel. And my channel, I finally decided, is, you know, it's not going to be any more complicated than you feeling better when you leave. Did I bring you up? Did I bring the vibration to this place up? Doesn't matter what we talk about, whatever the topic is. Did I bring it up? Because if I bring you guys up, then you go throughout your day and you bring up the people around you, and everybody gets brought up a little bit. And Jacob definitely does that. He has a big audience that you shine some serious positivity, and that positivity radiates and it spreads out like a puddle. And I just love your channel, Jacob. Thanks for coming by. That's really nice of you. I call my wife Honey Badger. She's the fiercest. She is. I can't even say this without laughing. She's the fiercest in the animal kingdom. Oh, joke. I don't have a wife. Okay. Well, I do. Paul, I started calling my cat Honey Badger. Mr. Cool Cat, I've been calling him Honey Badger because he's been going out in the snow. It is what was -5 degrees here yesterday, and the cat's like out there like it's nothing. 12 hours he's just walking around out there in -5, and wow, that's it. So the other thing I wanted to talk to you about is I have to talk to you guys about how this cat came to be. That Kate manifested this cat, and it came to be in our life. That was a pure manifestation. It was like, I really want a cat. I really want a cat. And the damn cat showed up in a snowstorm blizzard, half dead. And she nursed him back to health. And that was like, we had talked about getting a cat and manifesting a cat. Even bought like cat stuff because I knew we were going to get a cat. And the damn cat comes and shows up at the door, begging to come in so he doesn't freeze to death. And she saved that cat. So there you go. Yeah, let's see, where are we at? I missed. Hey, Cole, thanks for coming. I haven't even seen you here yet. Hi, Melissa. And Casey Cat, I haven't said hi to you either. So hi. Let's see. Jacob. All right, you got to go back to work. All right, well, I'll call you later, man. But happy holidays, buddy, and thanks for coming through. I appreciate you swinging through on the live chat. That is a good place to stop because I've talked straight for 2 hours. I haven't had a guest, and I have given you the positive energy train. That's like the soul train, right? Remember the soul train to be dancing down the track? That's what I want to do. I was watching some Mr. Rogers clips, and I was like, you know, I wish I could be like Mr. Rogers, because that dude had it right. You know, I love you just the way you are. You're good enough just who you are. You know, just nothing but positive message. Mr. Rogers rocks. And I was like, why does nobody do that for adults? Why is there not a Mr. Rogers for adults? Maybe that's what I should be. I should be like the Mr. Rogers for you guys. That I love you just the way you are. There you go. And that you need to be kind to each other. Well, Mr. Rogers kept it really simple, but very, very good. I like that, man. Oh, man, we're talking about cats. That means I'll stay for the next 20, 30 minutes. No more. I'm not going to talk about cats. It's a dirty, slippery slope. Hi, Brian Jacobson. I appreciate you coming, but we are kind of wrapping down. It has been 2 hours on air, and I am all talked out, and everybody made me do my British voice too much. Puddle Duck, I forgot your English. That's right. You don't know who Mr. Rogers was? Oh. All right, we'll have to... Mr. Rogers was this guy that was on government TV that he was on like PBS, and it was a very, very simple, kind of low key, calming presence that would come on, and he did something almost like 1,000 shows over his lifetime, where he'd come in and he would talk to little kids, and he was different because all kids shows out there were all about like high energy, get your attention, flash, flash, look at this, here's the cartoons, here's... Mr. Rogers was like your grandfather coming and sitting down talking to you, one-on-one. He didn't talk down to you, he talked to you like an adult. And he would always have some really positive, uplifting message. And I always felt good watching Mr. Rogers. It's like the one show you could set your kid in front of and you never have to worry about like what's going to be on Mr. Rogers. It's always going to be something good. And that was so I was thinking to myself, why can't I be like Mr. Rogers for adults? You know, I need to get more Mr. Rogers like. I want to study him and be a positive thing like that. That's what I want to do. It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood. There you go. this virtual neighborhood. It's a beautiful day in this internet neighborhood. I'll start taking off my... I am wearing slippers. Look, I'm wearing slippers. He always came in and put... Oh, no, I guess he put slippers on. Did he take his sneakers off and put slippers on? Or did he take dress shoes off and put sneakers on? I can't remember. I need to go watch one. You know what's funny is I think Netflix put up like all of Mr. Rogers, which is like 1,000 episodes. So you're going to be a little busy watching some Mr. Rogers if you want to. But it is... If you do have kids and you want to like let them watch something that you don't have to worry about what they're watching and you can still put on old episodes of that stuff, and it's really good still. I mean, the messages are like, be nice to each other, support each other, love each other. Kind of the same stuff. I've heard this message somewhere. You know, it's the same stuff. Oh, he put sneakers on. Okay, dress shoes off, sneakers on. Thank you. Yeah, I couldn't remember. And then, yeah, the sweaters his mom's made. That's right. But I feel like he had... yeah, why do I feel like he had slippers, too? I don't know where I got that from. Oh, Clarion Baker, whoa, $20. You got the HypnoCat. HypnoCat's for you. Lots of love to you. You must love Mr. Rogers a lot. So hey, man, thanks for supporting the show, man. That was awesome. I appreciate the donation. Very sweet of you, unexpected, especially since I don't think you've been around much in the chat. You kind of new, so much love to you, girl. Right there. It's Clarion. I think I'm saying that right. If I'm not, tell me. I always say I'm dyslexic, and sometimes I have a hard time understanding people's names on here. Lovely listening to you. Thank you, Bridget. Bridget has like a rich girl's name. Like, Bridget, it's very lovely. There's a capital idea. Let me drink my tea. It's a lovely. I love it. Yeah, that's right. We are the high vibe neighborhood. The vibration neighborhood. I said it right, Clarion. Well, thanks. I appreciate that. And, man, you guys just do not ever want to let me close this thing down. You will just keep going and going. This is why, like, when I do a show, I get to at least take a breath. Like when I have a guest on, but when I do it solo, man, it's hard to go 2.5 hours and stay on topic and entertaining. But I love you guys, so I do it. I do. It's a labor of love. I push on. I need a drama like pose and a hat. I somehow push on for you. I do it. I go on. Oh, I forgot to show you guys some cool stuff I got for Christmas. Okay, so remember how we were talking about writing stuff down? So I got this cool journal, and it's the one where you can draw designs in it with your fingers, right? This is supposed to be a whale. I was drawing a whale. Let's see, there's a whale. You like that? And so this is what I'll be writing in as soon as my oh no, my goal book it crashed. So this is my old school goal book, right? And then this is going to be my new one for the new year. Isn't that pretty? I got that for Christmas from Kate. Kate gave me that. And there's even better one. Look at this. I'm going to so rub this in Unirock's face. It is a unicorn that you can change the color. Like, oh, he turns different colors. He goes from white to, I think, silver. He's a silver corn. So you can do that. And it's even got a bookmark. Like it's a puffy sticker bookmark. So I know Unirock would want this. He likes anything unicorn related, but he's just going to have to live in jealousy as I use it. And it even has unicorns on the stationery. Check it out. And a fuzzy bag. This thing is just fun to touch. Yeah. It's a good thing women don't wear sequins like this anymore, because men would probably just start walking up and rubbing you like this just to watch the colors change. And then there would be lawsuits and stuff that happens. But, you know, you can't help it. That stuff's really addicting to touch. It's much like bubble wrap. I got no chance around bubble wrap. It's gonna be touched. And so women, be wary. Don't wear that stuff. Anyway, Some wise knowledge there. Good to know. There we go. You have a unicorn tattoo. Well, Casey Cat, you might want to look into that book because it is pleasurable. Like, it is tactile sensation. Look at that. You can turn him silver. But now he's white. Now he's silver. Now he's white. You can do that all day long. You can draw your name in here. I love it. Let's see if I can do a little T. A T's kind of hard. T. And an L maybe. Can I do an L? You have to go backwards. Boop. Oh, there you go. TL. My unicorn. You can't really see it. Anyway. Woo. There we go. All right. Where do you get it? I don't know where she got it. Let's see. Let me look. I think you just have to go online and put Sequin Unicorn. Sequin Unicorn. You have pillows like that. I know, Kiri, I got a pillow like that too. I can't stop touching this stuff. It's really, really bad. Like it's a problem. I have a problem. I'm here to admit it to you guys that I have a sequin problem. It's terrible. I don't know what to do because, like, you know, I'm starting to buy sequin clothes. I'm starting to stop in the store and I get stuck in the corner just playing with the sequin. I can't. The other day they had to call the fire department because I wouldn't stop. They had to pull me out in a stretcher and I was just stroking the sequin. I was doing it until I became unhealthy and passed out. It's a problem. But we'll talk about that another time. Yeah, long hair. I love changing sequin stuff. It's funny because when you walk through the store and they have that, every time I walk through the store, someone else's initials are in the pillow. Like everybody has to stop and fondle these pillows, which makes me think I need to order mine online. I don't think I should buy it in the public. Everybody's had their hands on that pillow. Oh, Kiri, you're assembling a drone. Good luck with the drone. Last year, I think I was told that drones were the most returned gift because everybody crashed them. So hopefully they've got that problem figured out, that you got the drone going better. Pollyanna, hey, thanks for stopping by you now. Thanks for jumping in here. I'm also over streaming on all kinds of platforms, but I do love, I'm trying to throw some love at you now. I've been watching them. Nice beard, thank you. I've been very neglective about about shaping it or taking care of it in any way. I need to actually shape this thing a little bit. I don't know. In the winter I grow a beard. In the summer I might trim it off. I haven't decided. Depends how hot it gets. I'm not used to having long hair, and I have had a long beard. The beards kind of get hot in the summer though, so I haven't decided what I'm going to do with that. All right, so we've had a long talk, ladies and gentlemen, about positivity, how to feel better about stuff in the new year that's coming up, how to make the right decision, how to make a positive decision. And do you guys remember what I said about an hour ago and a half hour ago and the 15 minutes ago? You're going to do what? You have one assignment when you get off this thread. When you get off this stream, we're going to pick one trigger. You're going to identify one trigger, something that pisses you off to no end, and you're going to figure out why that trigger's there, and then you're going to figure out an attack plan for that trigger. So say your ex-boyfriend makes you angry, and there's something he said that has nothing to do with him. It's from like 10 boyfriends ago. It's something someone treated you badly and you haven't been able to get over it. Some reason this thing is still in you and you react because of this trigger. You're going to identify what causes that trigger. Then you're going to come up with a plan. And you're going to say, you know what? Every time this trigger happens, I'm going to act a positive way. And when you do that, you're going to have a much, much better chance of dealing with the positivity of the situation. So, oh my goodness, I just got flooded over at you now. Hey guys, I was about to end the stream here. Been on for like 2 hours talking about being positive, but I appreciate all you guys coming in on you now and giving me some love over there, Sarah and M.N. Dye and Marine and Smitten Kitten. I love that name. And Taylor and Neon Cupcake. Wow, man, thanks for the love, guys. So if you missed the talk today, we talked about how to get out of a pit of energy vampires. So say you want to be positive and you want to move better in 2018. You want to You want to do something good in your life, and you're tired of being scared. You're tired of having anxiety. You don't want to have fear. You're kind of like, or you're just coasting in a mediocre life. So how do we get past that? We get past that by doing one thing. We're going to rewire habits. And we just run on these stupid habits that are in our head that aren't even ours. Like, we're learning how to react from our parents. We're learning how to react from social stuff. From your kindergarten teacher. All these people put stuff in your head that some reason now that you're reacting and you think it's yours. And I know I had a real problem with this. Especially I had a problem with like ex-girlfriends. Like an ex-girlfriend would hurt me and do something, and then I would be super intolerant of that same action from another girlfriend. So I would just like blow up at this poor girl that didn't deserve it at all. And it was because of old crap that had nothing to do with her, but someone's pushing my triggers. They're pushing my buttons, and they won't stop pushing the button. So how do we do that? And how do we get out of that mess? And I'm giving you a tool that really helped me get through the other side of this, and that was just identifying it. Be like, why am I acting this way? When you do that, you will get a solution. When you can say, oh, every time my boyfriend does X, I act Y, I can do this, and I can choose a positive way to act. And now in the beginning, you're still going to have that knee-jerk reaction. They're going to push that button, and you're going to get pissed off. But after a while, once you notice that that's happening, you can start rerouting that behavior into something positive. And I am a walking example of that, because I have been doing it and working on it, and I'm still working on it. Ladies and gentlemen, I am not there yet, but I sure have come a long way, and you can too. That one little tool, man, do it. Don't be afraid to do it. So, whew, you guys wear me out. I need to go, but you won't let me go. Set my people. Oh, no, I didn't say it right. My Moses, let my people go. Oh, man. All right. I've had fun today with you guys. Thanks for coming with me on this 2-hour, almost 3-hour journey of fun. If you're on YouNow, please subscribe to me. We're just wrapping this show up, but I'd love to have you back sometime. And let's talk about where you can find me. Shall we do it? Oh, Liz, thank you so much for joining us. It's been so long. I'm so glad you didn't have to work until midnight or whatever the heck you always work. I don't know. You like never stop working. Liz, we're going to have a serious sit down about your work schedule, because you work way too much. You need to enjoy life a little bit. We're going to have a talk about this. So, right there. New year, me and you are having a sit down. All right, so you can find me at all these alternative networks. I am trying to slowly move off YouTube. You guys know this, even though my YouTube is growing, I don't trust YouTube, and I'm over at most of these free speech networks. So right now I'm streaming to D Live and DTube, which is Decentralized YouTube. Steam it. I'm over there, over at Library and Speech, BitChute, and Minds is where I hang out the most as far as if you want to actually talk to me. That's kind of like it's kind of like Facebook, but a free speech Facebook, where they don't have algorithms. You don't get censored. Nobody takes down your stuff. You actually make a post and your friends actually see it. Mine's is still in beta, though. If you're going to sign up for that, please use the link in my description below. And mine's is that's an interesting place. So, and then I'm also on MeWe. I just started that. I don't have an opinion about that yet. All right. I love you guys. I'm going to jump back here for a sec to you guys. And where's the main show? There it is. So I want to say thanks for hanging out. I didn't plan on going this long today, but sometimes when the mood strikes you and the spirit takes you, right? I'll be like those guys that dance with the snakes, right? The spirit took me. Here we went. I got the positivity spirit got a hold of me. So yeah. All right. Now, if Vanilla Christie, thank you. And thanks for all the donations today, guys. I really appreciate that. And thanks for all the love. And if you're watching, all the likes and all the good things. But let's talk about my journey. My journey of trying to escape the welfare teat of YouTube ad money. That I am slowly but surely starting to pick up Patreons. If you don't know what Patreon is, it's a way to support the channel. You pledge so much a month, like $1. $5. Some people are even doing $10 a month because they like what I'm putting out. And this unchains the shackles of YouTube. It allows me to say what I want on here. It allows me to make a living and put out quality products without being shackled to the ups and downs of some silly algorithm. So I've just started Patreon. I'm trying to make a move over there. Again, if you like the show and want to support us, you just do it for like $1 a month. I mean, seriously, $1 a month. Come on now, $1. Especially you'll get good information like you did today. $1 a month. And you can click that Patreon, or if that's not working, that'll work in the reruns. But right now in the live show, it doesn't work. You can find me in the description, the Patreon in the description. I appreciate that. The other thing, of course, is if you're new to the show, don't worry about Patreon. Just subscribe. I'd love it if you want to subscribe. You can also check out my channel at Lupo TV. That is where I put all my videos that are uncensored. In other words, the stuff that YouTube didn't like and unmonetized me, you can see those over there, the videos that are unlisted. I do appreciate that. And how is Patreon connected in the bank, with the bank accounts? Step-by-step walkthrough, please. Must be thankful. All I know is I get Patreon through PayPal. So it just links to my PayPal, and then they send me a monthly check for... I've only got a few Patreons. I just started, so I've got like, I think 6 or 7. So it's like $20. It's going to PayPal. But this year, in 2018, I'd like to move my living off YouTube and would like to be free of Google. And so I'm moving over towards there. So hopefully that helps. If you're uncomfortable with that, there's a million other cryptocurrencies. We can talk. I'm all over everywhere. And you can support me through cryptocurrencies. I'd appreciate that too. So, that being said, I appreciate that. One last thing is you guys make sure that you have a chance to go out. I gave you homework to do, and I'm going to check in with you in a few days to see it. Until then, I'm going to be publishing some just some stories I have that I find interesting. I'm going to do one on manifesting, I think, about manifesting animals. Can you manifest animals? And you're going to see a little experiment that I did by accident, really, not on purpose, but... And the answer is yes, you can manifest animals. So we're going to talk about that. So anyway, have a good holiday. I'll see you before the New Year's. Please check out the Patreon. If you're still watching on YouTube and you're catching it in a rerun, click these boxes that are appearing right now. You'll see these stories appearing. Keep watching. I appreciate the watch time. If not, check me out over at YouNow or DLive if you want to talk to me. And Minds is where I hang out. Minds, and you can find a connection, a link in the description. Love you guys. Support each other. Love each other. Be nice to your cat. We'll see you on the other side.